Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon, let's get to it. Welcome to Undisputed. We are live on Memorial Day as we honor America's heroes. I'm Jenny Taft. Bayless, Shannon Sharpe. Good morning, guys.
Thank you all for your service.
Yes, all the young men and women that gave their life and continue to do so.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hey, Skip,
Now, back to business.
How you doing, Skip?
How you doing?
I figured I put on me some new clothes today,
Really?
too. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what.
What it is?
That outfit's as overrated as number 2 was on Saturday night.
Yeah. I brought this out especially
Did
for him.
you?
Yeah.
Just for him
Just
to celebrate?
for him. Yeah,
Good. It's perfect.
There's
It
a
works.
lot going on. There is a lot going
you know,
on.
little-
It might fit with today's show because we have a lot to talk about today. Do the Warriors need KD back in the finals? And why is CJ McCollum coming after this guy? Skip, he will respond, but we are going to start with the Raptors. They are on their way to their first NBA Finals in franchise history, and Kawhi Leonard is a big reason why. He had a game-high 27 points and 17 rebounds to help lead Toronto on a 26-3-1 run in the second half to close out the Bucks. After the game, Raptors president Masai Ujiri said Kawhi is, quote, the best player in the league, and we're happy he is in Toronto. Shannon, how would you grade Kawhi's Game 6 performance?
Here we go.
Hey, Skip,
Here we go. Lay it on.
You gonna let me do it?
Lay it on thick.
Please.
Jenny said Kawhi was a big reason. Nah, Jenny, you misspeaking.
Oh, so we're going to the?
The reason. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Skip Bayless.
Yeah.
Kawhi was the reason, and he gets an A. An A+. Skip
You're going
Bayless.
A+?
A+.
I think you just changed it on the fly.
No, A+.
You had your notes probably say A. Your researcher told you to say A.
Don't do that, Skip.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying this was Michael Jackson's Thriller album. I'm not even saying this was Michael Jackson's Off the Wall album. But Dirty Diana, that's it. Bad, that's it. That's his album right here. Yeah. 10 million copies sold.
Good,
so
that's about right.
It wasn't that virtuoso that we saw the other night, or the Game 7, or the Game 4.
Oh.
But when they needed Kawhi to be...
You're still going to give it an A+. Okay, I got it. Okay.
But Skip, when they needed him, he came through 27, 17, and 7. But Kawhi, we need you to be great in the second half.
Okay.
19, 12, and 4 with 2 blocks. Can I interest you in that? Because Skip Bayless tells me all the time. He said, really, Shannon, the way you measure an athlete or the way I measure them, especially if they're all-time great, and we hold them to the highest standard, what did you do when your team needed you the most?
In the fourth quarter. Go ahead.
Ooh, he was something.
Woo.
And see, a lot of times what get carried away is that all we look at is the offensive input, the output that a guy does. He scored 35, but he had a yeoman's work. So not only was he giving you the 30 on a nightly basis, he was locking down, he was locking up, and had Giannis in solitary. No sunlight. Wouldn't even let him skip. That's high max.
Really?
You know, even on high max, they let you come out 1 hour a day.
Really? Yeah.
Had him on 24-hour lockdown. Locked him up.
Had him down in the hole, man.
Giannis shot 58% in the regular season.
Yep.
When Kawhi Leonard guarded Giannis in this series, he shot 35%. And the guy that's going to be the MVP was anything but that outside of the first 2 games. So, Skip Bayless, I don't really know how we get around this today. But today is the day. On Sunday, we praise one guy. But today, Monday, we got
now
to
you're
praise.
going to straight blasphemy. You were doing okay, but you went completely over the edge into straight blasphemy.
Let me praise Kawhi. He deserved it. And I know it hurts. It hurts a little more today because where he came from, you know, that's your baby. I mean, he was your guy.
Yep.
That was your guy. Now he's Toronto's guy.
Yep,
and they're going to the NBA Finals.
For a little while, he's Toronto's guy.
Don't worry about that. You don't worry about how long it's going to be. But for right now, Kawhi Leonard is an A++.
Dear Father, forgive him for what he does not know. Now, let's talk about what I saw on Saturday night, shall we? I'm going to give you this. Number 2 played pretty well on Saturday night.
Well.
I give you that.
Okay.
The team around him played extremely, shockingly well. So if just one of us can be objective and step back and put this in the right perspective, I'm going to give number 2 a B-. And that, I wavered between C+, B-, but I'm going to go B- because I'm going to look on the bright side today because the Toronto Raptors finally, for the first time in their history, are in the NBA Finals, and I got to give them that, so I'm going to give them a slight edge. I'm going to go B-. Do you realize, if not for one lucky bounce 3 that came late, and I'm going to talk about it a little more in detail in just a minute, but he had one lucky bounce 3. If not for that, do you realize that number 2 would have been 0 for 8 from 3? Can I interest you in that?
Yeah, you can.
Can I interest you, by the way, in a little-known stat that since May 7th, that number 2 has been the worst shooter in the playoffs from the three-point line at 26.5%. But who's counting? Let's leave that be for now. But that means he was almost 0 for 8 from 3 on Saturday night with 6 turnovers. So those 2 alone, I got to go down to B-. And by the way, we have gone back and forth for weeks about Toronto's supporting cast. You dug in and said Milwaukee has the better supporting cast. I said that is laughable. It's not true. And they just showed you, I think, that Toronto has much superior supporting cast.
I could have swore I had an addendum.
Oh.
I amended. I said Milwaukee had the more consistent, which they had been throughout the entirety of the regular season. Therefore, they had 60 wins. But go ahead.
Okay. So just for the record, for those who missed it, because most people probably did, number 2 did need to rest for the first 3 minutes and 30 seconds of the fourth quarter. That came after Reggie Miller on TNT said that he was out of gas mid-third quarter. I know you don't listen, but
I didn't hear.
Out of gas. And I nearly fell out of my chair on that one because he looked just fine to me, but what do I know?
He always looks fine
I've
to you.
only watched him the last 7 years. I don't know, but he just looked just fine to me. He's always got kind of a pained expression on his face, but that doesn't mean that he's out of gas. So he did sit, and I have no problem with this, for the first 3:30 of the fourth quarter, and when he took the seat, they were down 5. When he stood up and came back in the game, would you believe they were up 2? So I don't know what happened, but the supporting cast went crazy while he was sitting. And the supporting cast went on a 9-2 run. Now, he had started to turn the momentum around before he came out at the end of the third quarter.
That is correct.
But all of a sudden, they go on a 9-2 run without him. I don't know who these people are. Guy you trashed all last week, Van Vliet, just went crazy hot from 3.
So over the last 3 games,
I'd say he did. But this time in this 9-2 run, Van Vliet gets loose for a layup, and then Norman Powell. I've always told you I love Norman Powell coming off the bench because he comes in, he's just fearless, and he made another big 3, and then. I don't know how, but Siakam had a big dunk, and then Ibaka had a big dunk, and then Siakam made a nice little 6-foot floater, and that adds up to 9-2. And I don't know. The supporting cast looked really good to me in this game, which is why I think they got a good shot against Golden State. We'll get to that in a little bit.
I think they do have a very good shot also, Skip. But we've seen teams. You remember 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, LeBron and the Cavaliers were playing the Warriors. No, they played Indiana. And they were down 24. And they go on the historic run without Kevin Love and without Kyrie. The biggest thing is that when you see great players and when things start to go in their favor, they want to get in to be a part of it. But Kawhi just sat back and was like, hey, I need the break because, Skip, we got to realize, if he didn't take that break, he'd have played almost 45 minutes in the game. And maybe that's what caught up with him, was catching up with him in Game 3 because he had played so many minutes and the double overtime. So he's getting to a point of no return here.
It's the biggest game in Toronto basketball history times 10.
And I'm glad you said that. Yes. So now you even make his performance even more magnificent.
Really? Okay. So I always say money time, fourth quarter time. Let's look at how number 2 did in the fourth quarter because most people have completely overlooked what really happened because this is what I saw.
What'd you see?
I saw him make a fast break dunk with 6:46 left that just brought down not only the house and the crowd there, just brought down the world.
Yeah.
If we could see that again, it's fast break dunk. Lowry's got the ball. Sweet little deft little trailing pass. So what do we give him on a scale of 1 to 10 on difficulty on that dunk? I'm going to give it a 1. That's a 1. He is running full speed. Giannis is backpedaling, if not just standing flat-footed, and has no prayer of blocking this shot. That is a 1 on a scale of 1 to 10.
Look out below.
Okay, look out below. But am I going to jump through Twitter over that one? Come on, stop it.
It exploded.
You know, and that put them up 8 points. Boy, it was a turning point dunk, wasn't it? Now we get to 3:04 remaining, and can we see another lucky shot from another lucky corner over there?
Don't do
this
that,
one's
Skip.
kind of more of a wing three. It's a little more wing-ish. And it hits the front of the rim and the backboard, and it drops in. That is the lucky rim. That rim loves him. He must have put some voodoo spell on that rim. I don't know what happened. Maybe.
But you know what, Skip? In that very same fourth quarter, he had one to rim out. You remember it spent around and around and kicked it out?
Okay, but that
Look
one.
at this, Skip. Watch this.
That one lucked in. Luck.
I mean, come on, Skip.
Come on.
How did that not go in?
Well, because he shot it a little too far to the left, and it went in and out. That's not unlucky. That's just a bad shot. It didn't go down. It didn't luck out.
It did.
Right?
It
this lucked in for sure. And I'm looking back saying, really, it hit the front of the rim and then the backboard and dropped in. And so that put them up 5 points, and I'm not going to put a whole lot of stock in that. Again, that made him 1 for 8 from 3. Now we get to the game-turning play featuring your man, A+ number 2.
Yes.
This is game-turning. This is 2:06 remaining, and he drives on Giannis, and then what happens? Can we see this, please? Thank you very much. He drives on Giannis. Here he goes, and he goes up. And Giannis obliterates it.
No, that wasn't no
He
Giannis.
obliterated
Giannis came from the weak
it. It
side,
was
Skip.
absolutely nuclear. Look at this. Whoa, whoa.
That was a heck of
you
a
know
block.
what? He
It was a
got
heck of a
body
block.
bagged. I'm surprised he lasted. I thought they'd have to just carry him out because that's a body bag dunk, right? That's the one you don't survive. And help me out. What happens to the basketball? I don't know how. You want to talk about lucky bounces on his lucky
It
end?
went right to it.
It goes right to Siakam. How does this go to Siakam? It bounces right to Siakam for a putback layup. It's a layup. He just lays it off the
Skip,
glass.
No, you being disingenuous.
Whoa.
First of all, that was not on Giannis. Giannis was the help defender. He did not see Giannis.
Oh, he didn't see him. Whatever. He got his lunch, dinner, and then breakfast eaten all in one play.
But hold
Okay.
on. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so again, that's the game-turning play because that puts them up 5 with 2:06 left, and it's a commanding lead at that point that they never really get threatened to relinquish, okay? So that's the biggest play of the game right there, and that's just pure luck. I'm sorry.
No, the biggest play, you know the biggest play of the game
I
was,
give him no credit for that
because
one.
we've seen this in the past 2 games. All the Bucks have to do is get a rebound on a missed free throw. That's all you have to do. Just get one rebound. Now, we saw in Game 5, Kawhi shoot a 3. Go and retrieve his own rebound against Giannis Antetokounmpo, Greek freak, who's going to be the MVP. In Saturday, they're shooting a free throw. All you got to do is box out, grab the rebound. See, it's not good enough for the miss because it doesn't do you any good if the guy misses the ball, misses the shot, and you don't grab the rebound. And what does Giannis, your guy, Greek freak, right there.
He's not my guy.
Your guy.
He's your guy.
Oh, no, Kawhi,
Maybe
my
he's
guy.
Chris Broussard's guy. I don't know.
Kawhi, my guy.
Yeah.
Kawhi, A+.
He became your
he
guy
became my
because
guy.
he wasn't mine.
So now, guess what he did? The 2 biggest plays that we needed to make, that the Raptors needed to make. Guess what, Skip?
Okay.
I guess we can't call them baby dinosaurs.
No, we cannot. So he did get that one offensive rebound off the missed free throw, and then he dribbled into the corner, and he dribbled off his foot out of bounds, and so he had his 1 turnover in the fourth quarter. So I think that canceled that play.
No, I don't cancel.
Well, he did. He dribbled it right off his foot out of bounds, so they didn't score off it. They didn't capitalize.
So I can't interest you in 7 points, 2 blocks.
Okay, so let's look at those 7 points. So how many, look at your box score. How many did Toronto score in the fourth quarter?
They scored 29.
29. So he scored 7 of 29. Can I interest you in that? Because it doesn't interest me at all. 7 of 29? Really?
Considering nobody else scored more than 5, you should be able to interest me in that.
So he went 1 for 4 from 3 with the lucky bounce 3, which almost made him 0 for 4 from 3. Am I right?
You say you love free throws. They only attempted 4. They were 3 of 4. And Kawhi attempted 2.
He made them both. I give him that. He's been shooting his free throws at a very high clip. I give you that.
You have.
He learned well as a Spur from their shot.
You know what he learned to do?
No.
To get up out of there. When y'all talk crazy to me, I'm dipping.
Oh, okay,
and his Uncle
great,
Dennis spoke
good.
about it. We're going to talk about that a little later, too.
We're going to really talk
His
about
Uncle
that.
Dennis brought some clarity.
Okay.
Because I love clarity, Skip. Don't you like clarity?
Yeah.
When things are cleared up, you can see better.
Especially when Uncle Dennis is trying to clarify. Then I'm taking it to my bank.
You should.
Which is out of business, is what my bank is. So, in the fourth quarter, number 2 has 7 points. He has 1 assist. He did get 3 rebounds. I give him that.
What about the blocks?
And it gave him 2 blocks. He did have 1 from behind on Giannis, but then he gets another one at the buzzer because Chris Middleton tries a 3 that means absolutely nothing because the game is over, and he blocked it at the buzzer and got another block.
Why you shoot it?
Can I interest you in that? It doesn't interest me at all.
If you don't mind me asking,
Sorry.
since it wasn't going to be a 6-point play, why you shooting the shot? Go ahead and just eat it, let the clock run out, and get on off our court.
So, can we qualify this? Can we define what happened in the fourth quarter as number 2 took over the fourth quarter? I think not. So he has a fast break dunk. He scores 2 baskets in the fourth quarter. A fast break dunk that anybody could have made. You could have made that dunk running full speed.
Exploded.
Oh, yeah, he exploded. But he's hurt. He's hurt. That's what they say. That's what they tell me. But he exploded into the dunk. I don't know how he did it.
I don't know if you've noticed this, but what I do notice is Kawhi is picking his moments in which he needs to be explosive.
Oh, really?
He's exerting a lot.
Wait, it looked like he picked every moment the whole game. Because I didn't see any limping. It's a miracle.
When you have to play the type of minute, see, it's one thing, Skip, to play 41 minutes and you give it to someone on the offensive end. But when you play 41 minutes and you also must spend 30 of those minutes guarding Giannis and shutting him down, making sure he's on high max, solitary, get no visitation.
Yeah.
Yes, you saw it.
So all I heard on Saturday night was he took over another fourth quarter, took over the whole basketball game, and I'm saying, how? I don't exactly.
Okay, how about this here? What if I say he took over the What if I say he took over the second half?
Okay, I'll give you third quarter.
No, the second half.
He did not take over the fourth quarter.
Hold on.
He had a late flurry in the third quarter when the pressure wasn't really on because it looked like the game was slipping away.
Hold on. I'm looking. Let me refresh. Let me see.
Yep.
Now Giannis, who's going to be the MVP, Jenny, had 21 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 blocks for the entirety of the game. He played a grand total of 40 minutes and 32 seconds. Kawhi Leonard in the second half had 19, 12, 4, and 2 blocks. Now you telling me he didn't take the second half over?
I told you the third quarter, not the
the second half.
Nope. It's third quarter, fourth quarter. It's all in the third quarter and not much in the fourth.
Skip.
As usual.
Skip.
It's what kept happening in
If
this
I'm not
series.
mistaken, he had 2 fewer points, 2 more rebounds, and 2 steals more than what Giannis had in the entirety of the game, and he did that in the second half.
Giannis got exposed in this series.
No,
Yes,
he didn't get exposed. We took the covers off him. We just stripped him down. We made him streak in the arena naked. We exposed him.
Every time he tried to swoop to the hoop, which is his only offensive move, is swoop to the hoop.
Yeah.
He ran into number 2 to start with, but then there was Gasol, then there was Siakam, then there was Ibaka. That's a lot of firepower in there. You realize Ibaka has twice led this league in block shots. You realize that Gasol has been a defensive player of the year.
Yes.
You realize that Siakam will make lots of defensive all first or second teams going forward. You just watch.
And you realize the last guy that's won back-to-back defensive players of the year is who, Skip?
Yep, he's that guy.
He's that guy.
Yep.
He's no question, hands down, the best two-way player in basketball.
He is no match for Giannis at the rim. He is no match for him, but he couldn't get to the rim because of the wall. And we found once and for all, Giannis has no game at all. He's got no mid-range. I mean, he doesn't even have any short-range game. He doesn't even have like a 5-foot pull-up jumper.
That's what we do.
He doesn't have a hook shot. He doesn't have any shot. He's got no shot except dunk or off the backboard close.
See, what you want to do is try to minimize Kawhi's impact.
I'm just putting
he was exposed.
I'm not hating. I'm just truth spitting. That's all I'm doing. I just told you exactly what happened.
Well, let me add a little more truth to your spitting.
Okay.
What we did was show you what everybody knew to be true all along. See, we didn't let him get within 5 feet. We didn't let him get to the rim. It was us, Kawhi, that exposed him and let the world see. So sometimes, I don't know if you remember this, but my grandma used to make the bed. I used to love my grandma make the bed, Jenny, with me in it. I mean, she would take the sheets and throw the sheets way up in the air and then come down.
I love that.
Yeah, that was so.
I don't love that. I don't even know what it means.
Right, my family did that.
Yeah.
My family didn't.
Your mom didn't never make the bed with you still in it? Because she didn't want to disturb me. She said she didn't want to disturb her baby. So Kawhi wanted to disturb him. He wanted to pull the covers back, let you see Giannis for what he is. Yeah. He's a great player, but he has flaws. And what we try to do, see, Kawhi is the makeup. Now, Kawhi could have, covered him up and covered his flaws up. But no, what we did, we exposed it. Yeah. We that, you go get a facial, they put that thumb on it so you can see all the blackheads up on that microscope. We put them under that microscope. We let the world see for 6 games what Giannis was about.
He needs to go to the dermatologist today.
Yeah, we exposed
he needs a whole off-season of dermatology.
Yeah.
He's got blackheads, he's got pimples, he's got all kinds of, he's got acne all over his face, right? Yeah. Exposed.
And we ain't gonna clear him up either.
Exposed.
So guess what? Old Kawhi, old Claw, it hurts, Skip. Because as I'm watching him, I'm hurting for you. Because I know
it didn't hurt me at all.
Oh, yes, it did.
I'm so done with
it. Don't be done.
Yeah.
Hold up. How you gonna be done? You got another 2 weeks with him. You can't be done.
Well, I've fallen in love with this supporting cast because this is a good basketball team. I don't know if you noticed or not, but this team is loaded.
Look here, the Jackson 5 were a great group, but we all know who the guy was.
Really?
Michael. Tito, Randy, Jermaine. Oh, they were all good, but they weren't Michael.
These
that supporting cast is
way,
good.
way
Michael.
better than any of Michael's siblings. Well, Janet, I don't know. Janet
they
got a Janet in there.
First of all, Janet was not in the Jackson 5.
Okay, but she was a sibling.
Yes. We're talking about that group.
All right, well, these players are way better than his brothers. Way better. None of them had any real game. Come on, really?
I mean, a couple of them had some hits.
Jermaine had them.
But they made each other better.
Yes.
Yeah.
But see, with Kawhi steps, Kawhi just lets you know, I'm great in the group. But if I step out and go this thing solo, as he showed the Spurs, you see what he did, Skip?
What did he show?
He showed them, I don't need you. You need me. Because I went to the finals without you. Let's see if you can get there without me. Huh? Oh, broccoli.
We'll see.
Hey, I'm going to see. I see.
Yeah, he used to be the biggest stick of broccoli.
He was never there. He never fit in with you guys, Skip. He was never supposed to be there. No.
Found a comfortable spot.
He didn't fit that night. He missed that late free throw that lost game 6.
So now you, what about, hold on. Didn't Manu miss it? Didn't Manu?
He missed the first one, and your guy missed the second one.
Okay, so why did Manu? So Manu's carry equals the weight.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then your real guy missed the shot to tie, and then I don't know why Tim Duncan was on the bench, but then Ray Allen gets the I don't know.
Let's stay in the present, guys.
Present.
Game 1 of the finals
here's
Thursday.
The bottom line to this. Your guy has become your old guy because right now, number 2 is the new LeBron James in the playoffs.
Oh.
The most overprotected and in many ways overrated superstar this side of your guy.
No, it's not even close.
Somehow.
I mean, Kawhi had an unbelievable playoffs, but let's not.
So you're saying he's better than your guy now? Uh-oh, trouble in paradise.
So Skip.
Yep, I think I just got you. Better than your guy.
You told
best two-way. Does that make him the best?
No.
Overall?
But for all of 2017, you told the world that Kawhi was the best player in the NBA.
I did. It wasn't just then. I was telling him that for a long time.
Now, why did you stop saying that?
Well,
I'm going to let you guys think about this one. I'm going to let you guys think about this one. We're moving on. If the Raptors can actually upset the Warriors in the finals, is it possible? We'll make some picks next. Don't forget, you can check us out every day on the Fox Sports Channel on SiriusXM. We'll be right back.
No mercy.
The Warriors are heading to their 5th straight final, so it is no surprise they're a heavy favorite over the Raptors. The series starts Thursday in Toronto, and the Warriors are expected to be without Kevin Durant for the 6th straight game. The Raptors may be underdogs, but they did sweep the season series from the Warriors. Interesting there. Shannon, who will win the finals?
Skip, let me tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do something very interesting. I'm going to pick the Warriors at 6, but I'm probably going to lay my money down on the Raptors.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Because, Skip, I'm trying to win money. But anyway.
Well, is it your pride or your money? Which is it? Which is it?
I think I like money a little more than
Okay,
pride.
so pick Toronto.
No.
Okay.
You see, you know what? You want me to pick Toronto, and when they lose, you're going to say, I told you. You had your trust in number 2.
If you pick Toronto, I would not blame you. Seriously.
I'm going to take the Warriors in 6. But I believe this series, even though I don't believe Kevin Durant will play, is going to be better than people anticipate. I know Vegas is laying all the money. It's heavy, Skip, heavy favorite. Even over only the Cavs last year were more of an underdog than what these Raptors are.
Over the last 8 years.
Yes. Than what these Raptors are in this series.
Okay.
If you go back and look at it, the Raptors took both games from them. Now, the game in Toronto, Steph nor Draymond played, and KD went wild, had 51.
He did.
Then they go to Oracle. Kawhi didn't play, and they still won.
By 20. They won by 20. Without their guy, without your guy.
I've never seen a team that can execute better offensively or defensively in the last 4 to 5 minutes of a ball game like the Golden State Warriors can.
True.
They are flawless in their execution. They don't make mistakes. I think Steph Curry has learned his lesson. He don't attempt any behind-the-back passes, skipping those moments anymore. It's a chest pass. It's a nice, solid bounce pass. He's going to get the ball to point A to point B without the fanfare. What concerns me is that who do they have for Kawhi? That's what concerns me, Skip. And Kawhi doesn't have the guy that he needs to worry about on the other end, which is KD. So, I'm trying to think. Are they going to start put Kawhi on Steph? Are they want him to? I don't know if they want him to chase start. Now maybe in the fourth quarter, Skip, the game's tough. I can see Kawhi sliding.
I'm going to guess it's mostly Clay to number 2.
Okay.
Versus vice versa.
So you think Clay?
That's what I think.
You think Clay will start out on?
I think so.
On Kawhi. Okay, I can see. I can see that. What surprised me most, Skip, especially say the last 5 to 6 games, is the production that the Warriors have gotten from their bench. Their bench has been terrible this regular season. But for whatever the reason, Steve Kerr has confidence in these guys, and where most teams are playing 7, 8 guys total, Steve Kerr emptied his bench.
He does.
Quinn Cook, Looney, all these guys, McKinney, all these guys are getting, Jerebko, all these guys are getting somewhere 8 to 12 to 20. I think Kevon Looney ended up playing like 24 minutes the other day. So with that being said, I'm going to take the Warriors in 6. But I don't believe it's going to be the cakewalk that people think it's going to be because this is the Warriors.
So, you want to change? I'm going to give you one shot.
No.
You're leaning.
No,
I'm going to give you a shot right here.
No, I think one of the wheels. I think one of the
reconsider?
wheels off on my chair. That's
Really?
why I'm leaning. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Okay, you're leaning toward Toronto. So, to all your points, the real mind-boggler to me is that you gave the overall stat, biggest underdog except for last year's LeBron Cavs in the last 8 years. Right. But here's what is the conundrum. Would you believe that Toronto, remember, Toronto is at home for game 1. They've got home court advantage in the finals. Why do they have home court advantage? Because they finished 1 game ahead of Golden State. Why did they finish 1 game ahead? They beat them twice. Yeah. So those 2 head-to-heads, even though they came early in the season, late November, fairly early December, those 2 determined home court in the finals. That's a huge thing to me.
So true.
Whew, you would think that Golden State would have home. Nope, they don't have home court.
This is the first time, Skip, so this is uncharted territory.
You got it.
You've never seen them open the finals on the road.
Okay, so game 1, guess what happened? Toronto at home opened as a 1.5 underdog. Only a 1.5, not like it was 8 or 10 points, like usually every Golden State-Portland game, it was always up around 10 points, right?
Right.
Okay, they open as a 1.5 point dog at home, and the public jumps all over Toronto and bets them all the way to a 1 point favorite at home, and I am with the public on this game. I believe Toronto will win game 1. The Warriors have been off all these days. It's always the rest versus rust question. I think rust will prevail. The other big difference maker in this whole series is we finally got to hear our man Kevin Durant speak the other day. It was after our show on Friday. And What did it sound like to you? Sounds like he wants to come back and play in the finals, right?
Yes.
And he still sticks in his craw that people are trying to make the case that they're better without him, and he's saying that's not the facts.
Right.
Because he can show you what he's done. Yeah, you see what he did against Toronto. He scored 51, and then he scored, what do you have, 30 in the other game that they lost at home by 20?
Right.
But he put up 81 total points in 2 games against Toronto. So, again, Steve Kerr is under extraordinary pressure to try to force Kevin, I believe, back into the, not just the rotation, but the starting lineup, obviously. And I don't know, game 3, game 4?
Right.
Doesn't it sound like it's heading in that direction?
Well, I think the thing is, Skip, for me, is that I believe Golden State will win one of these first 2 games. I don't know if they'll win the game 1 or game 2, but I believe they'll win one of those.
If they do, fine.
Yes.
So when they go back to Oracle, will Kevin be ready to play? He hadn't done any basketball activities that I'm aware of yet. Really? But it seems like if you want to have any shot at keeping him in Golden State, there's probably little to no shot. But if you have any shot at all, you're going to have to succumb to his wishes that he wants to show you he can still play. Am I right?
I think the pressure would be heightened if they go down 0-2.
Okay.
Going back to the
Let's say
Oracle.
they do. Well, okay, then they have to go back.
Yeah.
Do you know how hard, do you realize what a chemistry experiment on the fly it's going to be to try to fit him back in after they have found the old 73-9 chemistry and flow? Am I right?
Yes.
It could be very disruptive to their success.
Right.
If DeMarcus Cousins says, I'm ready to play, coach, send me in.
No, we good.
Okay? Probably you can get away with telling him you're good.
Yeah.
But will Steve try to play him for 5 minutes or 7 minutes or try to get him a little run since he's probably not in basketball shape?
Right.
Okay.
And that's the thing you worry about with KD, Skip.
Okay, do they not have a good rhythm going with
got a
Kawhi
great
Looney and all the, you just listed all of them.
Bogut
Every time I looked up, somebody was doing something off the bench.
Skip, the thing is that, and Kevin gets so upset, Kevin, they're not better, they're different. The ball moves more when you're not in the ball game for the simple fact you are a tremendous ISO player. Skip, if we need a bucket, if shots are not dropping, all Steve Kerr is going to do is hold up one finger. He's going to give the ball to Kevin Durant. He's going to clear aside so the double team can't come. And Kevin Durant's going to take a couple of dribbles, turn over his left or his right shoulder, and give you a bucket. The other guys can't do that, Kevin. So the ball is different. The ball moves more. It's not that you're a bad player. It's nothing wrong with you adding an element to the game that they don't possess. What you did, you joined a great team.
Yep.
And you made them unbeatable, KD. But if you think they were on life support before you got there and you resuscitated them, you're being disingenuous and you're fooling yourself.
Okay. What did we just see in the fourth quarter of Game 5 against Houston, then all of Game 6 versus Houston? We saw new Warriors. We saw new flow. We saw Steph play the best basketball of his career. That's going to get threatened if Kevin is forced back into the quote-unquote flow. It's not going to flow anymore.
Because if you bring him back, Skip, how does Steph Curry feel comfortable taking 30 shots? Clay gets 21.
No, can't.
Because you remember...
Even Draymond will not feel as comfortable.
You remember the game in which they lost, they had that 31-point lead.
Okay.
Steph and Clay had about 45, 50 shots between the two, and KD took 9.
Okay. So what do you think it means right now to the psyche of the Toronto Raptors that they beat Golden State twice? I know it was a long time ago, but
I feel
it means
good. We can do
lot.
it again, yes.
It just means a lot because they had a big lead in the fourth quarter of the first game at home against Kevin scoring 51.
Right.
Then he hit 2 late threes in that game, late threes, that forced overtime. Steve Kerr called it after the game, an incredibly fun game for fans to watch. Right. It was a shootout. And it goes to overtime. And guess who took over in overtime? Siakam. He's underrated. He's becoming a star right before your very eyes. Number 2 in overtime went 0 for 2. So he was no factor. Siakam was the man who scored in overtime, scored 7 of their 12 points. So they win that game. Then they go to Oracle with no number 2. What do you think it means to the supporting cast that they went in there and just hammered them by 20? You don't think that matters right now? I do. And I got to tell you, the supporting cast, we went back and forth about it, but the more I watched Toronto, the more the team grew on me. And I'll throw number 2. He's obviously a gifted player, especially on defense. So defensively, this team is way underrated.
Well, Skip, they're long. I mean, you look at Siakam, you look at Marc Gasol, 7 foot tall. Danny Green is not the defensive player that he once was, but he's still pretty tenacious, Skip.
He has made an all-defense team.
And Serge Ibaka.
Two-time block champ.
Kyle Lowry try to play some defense. He's not great, but he'll try.
No, I'm surprised Kyle Lowry hasn't made second-team all-defense. He can play at that level. He is a bulldog on defense. And Siakam's going to make some all-defensive teams. My point is, they go 6 deep, and then if you want to throw Norman Powell in there, he can defend. All of a sudden, you want to talk about hard to score against? They're a handful as a defensive team. They're going to cause the Warriors some problems that Portland had no thought of causing.
I totally agree with you. Skip, what are we going to do about Danny Green?
Okay, I'll tell you what you should do about him. In 2013, in the NBA Finals, in just 5 games, he broke the all-time three-point make record that had belonged to Ray Allen. Now, since it's been broken by Steph. But the point is, I know him inside and out. I watched him all those years in San Antonio. Trust me. He will heat up when you least expect it. And when he heats up, he goes crazy hot. Really? Right now, Van Vliet is crazy hot. He's made 14 of his last 17 threes. If that continues and Danny finds the range, he will find the range. They're going to be a handful. So here's my prediction. Okay. I believe that they're going to lose game 1, Golden State. I believe that the Durant, DeMarcus stuff will just be disruptive to the flow, and they're going to have to fight, scratch, claw their way back into this series. I think it'll go 7 games, and I believe Golden State will win Game 7 at Toronto. At Toronto. Game 7 at Toronto, because this is just me. I still don't trust number 2 in a fourth quarter against Steph and Clay. I just don't.
But I know I might take Toronto in Game 1.
Okay, I do too. I agree.
They're playing well. They're really playing well. But like I said, Skip, I don't know the answer for Kawhi. I know Clay is a great defender, but Kawhi is
Clay is 6'7", so don't underestimate his length and height. You know, so he can hang with him.
Okay, we got our predictions in.
Old Klaus,
no making changes
do I know
now.
him? I know him. I know him way better than anybody.
You like old Klaus? You like old Klaus, Skip?
Oh, let's stay talking about that guy.
No mercy.
Spring is finally here, and if you're looking to get back into a great workout groove, we have to tell you about the latest from Peloton, the Tread. It offers an expansive range of boot camp, running, strength, walking, and stretching classes that reimagine the at-home total body workout experience. With Peloton Tread, convenience is key. Bring the best total body instruction to you at home on your time. Peloton knows you're busy. Classes range from 10 to 60 minutes long, so you can fit in a workout on your watch. Peloton Tread also provides access to trainers there to guide you through a wide variety of workouts. Work up a sweat with world-class instructors who are running, walking, stretching, and training by your side. The motivation is real-time, and you never repeat the same workout unless you want to. The 32-inch HD touchscreen and powerful built-in soundbar make the Tread the most immersive and captivating workout experience. Don't miss a beat in a workout that feels larger than life. And with Tread, you can see your progress all in one comprehensive place. You'll be able to push yourself to new personal bests by tracking total output, distance, and heart rate. Discover the immersive and challenging total body training you can get from Peloton Tread. Peloton is offering listeners a limited time offer. Go to onepeloton.com, use the code UNDISPUTED to get $100 off accessories with the purchase of a Tread.
No mercy.
Next up, after the Raptors advanced on Saturday night, Skip tweeted this. Well, I guess it worked for number 2 to quit on the Spurs last season, complaining of what Spurs doctors decided was no more than a thigh bruise. He wound up in the East playing against a hobbled, sick Embiid and an overrated Giannis. Crime pays. Well, CJ McCollum came to Kawhi's defense tweeting this. Give it a rest, Skip. Get some sleep, man. Claw is a monster. Get that hate out your heart. So, Skip, what is your response to CJ?
You know, my first response is that I was surprised that CJ isn't still in hiding after his disappearing in all those fourth quarters of all those games. Well, I'm just saying, you realize CJ, I called him out on the show. Maybe that's why he's responding. But in the fourth quarters against Golden State, he went 1 for 10 as they blew leads of 17, 18, and 17. That's 1 for 10 from 3, and he went 1 for 5 from the free throw line. But that's neither here nor there.
Okay.
Now, when it comes to me, CJ has no idea what he is talking about. I'm going to reiterate for all of our viewers out there who are coming late to this story. Nobody loved this guy more than I did.
I know.
And I was way ahead of the curve on this guy, way ahead. When it was not even remotely fashionable, I was the one singing his loudest praises on ESPN. This started in 2012. You can go check the tapes if you want to. I'm raving about the kid they stole in the draft. I called it. Go back to 2012. I was calling it the steal of the century. R.C. Buford pilfered this guy from Larry Bird and the Indiana Pacers, and the throw-in and the trade for George Hill, it was George Hill for these two guys. Davis Bertans, who much of the year this year led the NBA in three-point shooting and averaged 22 minutes a game for my Spurs. So is that not a steal? Mm-hmm. And the guy I saw early on, the young number 2, was in a shell. He had no confidence. He had no real faith in his basketball ability on offense. He was all defense at San Diego State. And the Spurs brought him out of his shell.
Okay.
Duncan, Ginobili, and Parker taught this young man how to do it, how to be a pro, how to believe in yourself, how to play at the highest level in the biggest games. Okay. Because those are 3 pretty great teachers, right?
Yeah.
3 cinch Hall of Famers. Mm-hmm. So what started happening? They have a shot doctor coach on the Spurs who is simply the best in the business. He will fix or teach anybody how to shoot. And he started with this kid just the way he did with Tony Parker, who didn't have much of a shot and developed a deadly mid-range game. Chip
really
England.
Good push shot.
Chip England. Well, he did, but it worked, man. He made a lot of big shots in a lot of big games. Chip England taught number 2 how to shoot. He didn't have much of a stroke. His hands are actually too big to be a good shooter. I marvel at what he's doing now, but it tears my heart out because the Spurs taught all of this. The stroke that you see from 3 right now, even though it's been pretty awful of late, but the stroke from the free throw line, they taught him this. They made him what he was. And then what happened right on schedule? What happened was that in 2018, but let's go back to 2017, all of a sudden, Greg Popovich decided you are ready to take over this team. I am screaming his praises on this show in this seat. I am calling him the best two-way player in basketball, and you are ridiculing me for having that opinion. You're scoffing.
No.
You're criticizing.
No. You said he was the best player in basketball.
I said best two-way.
No, he's the best two-way. I mean, his hands down. But you said he's the past LeBron because he could do things LeBron could only dream of.
Well, he locked up LeBron several times
in
big games.
Don't do that.
Okay, well, I'm just saying. Now you switch around. Now you're speaking out of both sides.
No, I'm not. No.
The point was, even our man Chris Broussard, 2017, is proclaiming he is going to win MVP. And I'm seconding the emotion. I'm pounding the desk over here saying, here he comes. And what happened right on schedule? Uncle Dennis happened, as in Dennis Robertson, the uncle in his family who took over all of his business and professional affairs. Yep. And right on schedule, I believe 2 things happened. Number 1, number 2 crumbled under the pressure to become the man. He doesn't have the right psyche for it. It's not in him, and all of a sudden he's looking around like, really? I got to be Tim Duncan here? Obviously, Duncan had retired.
If you don't mind me asking, what part did the injury play in that at the end of 2017?
Okay, well, we're about to get into that because number 2, Dennis Robertson clearly, to me, wanted him out of small market San Antonio. Dennis Robertson is based in New Jersey, and my gut feeling is, and this has been reported repeatedly over the last 2 years, that Uncle Dennis wants number 2 up in the New York area, either Knicks or Nets. We'll see how that plays out, but that would be his wish, his best wish. So what happened? The Spurs did not like Uncle Dennis interfering here, and Uncle Dennis convinced, I believe, number 2, that he had some serious issue in his thigh. It was a thigh bruise, according to the San Antonio team doctors. I'm going to put this in perspective one more time. This is the most player-friendly franchise in all of sports. Greg Popovich rests players to a fault. He will give you as much line as you need. If you need 100 yards of line, if you need 3 weeks off, take it. We just want you ready for the playoffs. But after he'd missed the first half of the year, when we got into late January, the Spurs medical staff, and I did speak to one doctor about this, said, we can't find anything. We can't find it. I heard that right in my ear from one of the doctors. We can't find anything. So what am I supposed to think? Is it psychosomatic? Or is it just the pressure has gotten to him? Or does Uncle Dennis want an excuse to get him out of there? You realize this has never happened in the history of the San Antonio Spurs. They've never had a player go south. Go back and look at their history in this regime. Find one for me. It's the classiest, most stable organization in all of sports. And he turned it upside down. And trust me, that team, I kept saying all year, this team had a chance to win the championship. It was the end of Ginobili and Parker, but they still had plenty left where if you had the best player, and he was certainly the best, and you had LaMarcus Aldridge, and we can go down the roster, you had enough firepower to overcome Golden State, because I think they were going to overcome them the year before until Zaza Pacheep shot happened. So what happens in late January? They publicly declare him cleared to play. You are cleared for all basketball activities. And what did he do? No, I'm hurt. And what did Uncle Dennis tell our man Chris Haynes on Yahoo? Uncle Dennis yesterday, Dennis Robertson, said to Chris, I think it just became a lack of trust. They didn't believe Kawhi couldn't play, and that caused a lack of trust in us and then us not believing in them. Anytime a player says he's not capable of playing, you should believe him. Sometimes you get these team doctors telling you what you can and cannot do, and I won't say his name, was just in too much pain to get out there. Baloney. I'm just calling baloney on him because that medical staff, if they thought he was hurt, they wouldn't do this. So it's not hate in my heart. It's just that he betrayed my organization. He betrayed them. He missed 73 games, and finally they called him.
82.
They called him on the carpet. This is all the way into deep March. Tony Parker, Ginobili, called him on the carpet in a players-only team meeting in the locker room.
How'd that work out for him?
Yeah, well, it didn't work out well, I guess, because 2 cinch Hall of Famers said, hey, man, we just need to know, are you with us or not?
Not.
And he said, I don't know, man. I don't know what he said. He probably just grunted and didn't say much of anything. Yeah.
Skip, look, you love movies, and you just brought it up the other day. You watch Rounders. Mm-hmm. And Teddy KGB in the final scenes in which Mike, Matt Damon's character, he flops the nuts in the poker term, which he's got the best hand and he can't be beat now.
Okay.
And on the river, it came an ace. Yep. And Teddy KGB said, all your effing dreams just goes down the drain. And that's what you saw on Saturday night. All your hopes and dreams of the Spurs going back to the NBA Finals.
Okay.
Down the drain.
So the reason I called it in the end of my tweet that crime, quote unquote,
it wasn't no crime.
It's basketball crime. That's what took place against the classiest organization in sports. And it would be like this, and I know CJ won't be able to get this through his head, but what if, I know this is going to seem outrageously out there, what if Damian Lillard, for whatever reason, he just wanted out of Portland starting next year? He decided, I can't win with CJ. Maybe he thinks CJ won't come up clutch enough for me to give me enough help in fourth quarters. What if he just suddenly had some mysterious injury and he said, I don't know, man, I just can't play?
Right.
What if he dogged it for the whole year? What if he just said, I'm out because I need out of Portland? What if it got so bad that they finally said, I guess we have to trade him because he just won't play for us anymore? How would CJ going forward feel about that? Would he be able to get the quote unquote hate out of his heart?
Yeah,
no.
I'm always going to take the word of a player because this is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at Game 5. They're down 14 points. Yeah. Let's go back. You're down 0-2. You're struggling, and Kawhi is laboring in Game 3. That's a perfect opportunity for him to quit, but he didn't do that. In Game 5, they're down 14 points.
Why was he laboring? Why was he limping?
Hold on, Skip. Hold on.
He wasn't hurt.
Skip, I just gave you the floor. I just want the floor right now. Just give me a couple of minutes. Just give me that. That was an opportunity for him to quit. Down 15 in the third quarter. He had every opportunity to quit, and he said no. Skip, I know what it's like. And see, when I told you when this happened, I say Kawhi has an implosive personality. But what that means is he won't say anything. He'll go and you'll keep pushing and you'll keep pushing him. I say when he explodes, he's gone. I say he's done with this. Done. I know that type of personality. And I also know being a professional athlete, when a doctor tells you you should be able to do something. This is my body. I get it that you went to the best medical schools in the country and you can give me a prognosis, but you can only give me a prognosis of what you think. I'm telling you what I know. I'm telling you what I feel. Kawhi said I'm not right. And you should have took him at his word. Because what did Skip?
It was going to go south anyway. It just wasn't going to work. There was no word or not word.
It went south when Greg Popovich pushed Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili to have the meeting. It went south when Tony...
I'm not sure he did, but go ahead. I don't know that for a fact.
When Tony Parker opened his big mouth and talked about, I had an injury that was 100 times worse, that started it.
Was it not 100 times worse? Tony Parker ruptured his quadriceps.
Okay.
Ruptured it.
Yes.
It tore in two in a playoff game against Memphis the previous year.
Did.
He rushed back, and it curtailed the end of his career because he fought back to play that year way too prematurely, and he's still feeling the effects of it.
Skip, let me tell you how...
He fought back. The other guy wouldn't fight at all.
But hold on. If we're family, if we're a team, my brother can never speak out against me. My sister could never speak out against me.
Okay, but
and
they had decided at that point they weren't a team.
Okay,
right?
well, Kawhi said, okay, since that's how we doing it.
Well, that was the end of it.
Okay,
he was out the door.
And there you go.
Yeah.
So with that being said, Skip, and everybody's seeing it right now, it's hard. What you think, R.C. Buford, looking at what he got in return, because you're never going to get that value. What do you think Greg Popovich, because there's no question in my mind, that guy right there on the Spurs, they're playing the Golden State Warriors in the Western Conference Finals.
Well, why not?
Yeah.
They're pretty good anyway. They came with one crazy shot from Jamal at the end of the Denver game, right?
And you know what, Skip? In the Teddy KGB, all your hopes down the drain. It's over for you, the broccoli Spurs.
He lost.
He lost what?
Teddy lost.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But my thing, you lost. Thank you. You lost. All your hopes and dreams are going down the drain, Skip, and you watching it.
Here's what makes me the sickest. This is where crime pays.
Tell us.
All of a sudden, it feels meant to be because a lot of times the playoffs get dictated by circumstance.
Yeah.
What's happening to the team that loses? You agreed with me all year. Joel Embiid is the real monster in the East. When he's right, when he's not sick or hurt, he's the best player in the East. You cannot tell me if he had been 100% right against Toronto that Philly wouldn't have won because they almost won anyway without him, and he was sick or hurt half the games, right? True. Okay, so that's like meant to be. That's like good luck to somebody who doesn't deserve it. And then Giannis is he's just overrated. So I nailed it in my tweet. A hobbled, sick Embiid, and you got an overrated Giannis. I was astounded by how handicapped Giannis is when he can't just get to the rim. He's got no game.
You watch him all year, Skip.
Yeah.
But why can't hold on. This is what I'm being puzzled by this. Skip tells me that the Spurs is the classiest organization in all of basketball.
Sure.
They tell me that the doctors are the most cautious in all of basketball. Why can't you wish Kawhi good health and a great job?
He did that.
Hold on. Why can't you do for him what the Grizzlies did for Mark Gasol?
Oh.
We riding with you, Mark.
Oh,
Mark Gasol said for Zach Randolph, for all the guys that were in Memphis with me, this is for us.
Time out. They got rid of Gasol. He didn't ask out. They pushed him out. They said, we got to start over. We got to go young.
You pushed Kawhi out. Because if you'd have kept your mouth shut, he'd have been happy.
No, we did everything in our power.
No, you didn't.
Everything in our power
You tried to
make
force
him
him to
happy.
play. You tried to force him to play.
Who wouldn't? He was making $20 million. At some point, you just say, come on, man, what's up?
Hold on. How much is Lamarcus Aldridge making? What's that money to them?
LaMarcus Aldridge last year played 81 of 82 games. Okay.
Can you imagine, Skip? Okay, so what? You eat $20 million for 1 year in order to get another 6 or 7 years. What's the investment?
Okay, but he wanted out because Uncle Dennis wanted out.
I don't believe he wanted out.
I do.
He wanted out once y'all started bumping them gums.
Okay.
Since Tony Parker opened his big mouth. Hold on. And at the end of the day, Tony Parker's trying to be the great company man. Skip Bayless, if you don't mind, because there are people at home that don't know this, can you tell the people at home where Tony Parker's playing at currently? The company man that rolled for his company, the company let him go.
Yeah, well, he got more money there, but he was just a shell of himself after he rushed back. He's still not right, and I don't think he's ever going to be right. He rushed back.
He rushed back, and the
other guy rushed out.
He rushed back to be let go sooner. Because Greg Popovich told him, your role will be greatly diminished here. The company guy. That's why you keep your mouth shut, players, and stop lying for these corporations.
Yeah. Well, last comment to CJ.
Please.
Come on, CJ. No, CJ gonna stop. I won't try to get CJ. CJ gonna come on here.
He says, come on, the Claw is a monster.
Claw.
I was screaming that from the rooftops in 2012 about the Claw being a monster. Yeah. So I'm way, way ahead of you. Before you even knew who the Claw was, I was screaming about
Skip, did you see that? I think it was Game 5. They threw him, he was in the post, and they threw it to him. He caught it, palmed it in midair, stuck it out, brought it back.
I saw it for 7 years.
I thought it was magic. I thought it was magic. I said, how did he do that?
My final comment is, if you're a Spurs fan and you were rooting for this guy right now, then you're not a Spurs fan.
Yes, you are.
No?
Yes, you are, Skip.
All right.
Sorry.
Yes.
There you have it. No. We got the response. We needed to hear it. We're going to stay talking about Kawhi, though.
No mercy.
The biggest event of the summer starts in just 11 days. The 2019 FIFA Women's World Cup. Live from France, Alex Morgan, Carly Lloyd, Megan Rapinoe, and the U.S. Women's National Team looks to win a record 4th World Cup. All of the matches will be live here on Fox and FS1 starting next Friday, June 7th. Well, it is no secret the Lakers need a big-time free agent this summer to help LeBron. One rumor has Kyrie coming to LA. An Instagram post with a photoshopped image of Kyrie in a Lakers uniform was liked by LeBron, but that reunion might not happen. ESPN's Jackie McMullen told the union leader that she feels, quote, very strongly that while LeBron and Kyrie have kissed and made up, that Kyrie is not going there. Another top free agent, Kawhi Leonard, is heading to the finals. We all know that. Raptors fans are hoping he stays in Toronto, but his sister deleted a video on Saturday where you could hear someone in the background say, quote, they know darn well he ain't gonna be there next year. Good move to delete that video. Shannon, will the Lakers get either Kawhi or Kyrie this summer?
Man, I really don't see it. The thing that I know about athletes, and especially really great ones, they like structure. They don't like chaos. The chaos is at the top. Genie Bus. So who do these guys, when they come talk, they want to talk to? Who they going to talk? Who? This is what I want to know. The chaos that's going on in this organization, it's not in the locker room. You got Genie Bus, you got Kurt and Linda Rambus, and you got Rob Pelinka.
Well, they did have some dissension over the failed AD trade.
Yeah.
I mean, that set the bridge on fire in the locker room.
And she said she wanted the control of her organization back.
But the kids were upset that it looked like LeBron was ready to trade them all for AD.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're supposed to trade trade jelly beans for a bag of gold. Who in the hell wouldn't?
So you, LeBron's #1 fan, just called those kids jelly beans, right?
And I called AD a bag of gold. I sure did.
All right.
I want to make sure that's clear, abundantly and crystal. When you get an opportunity to trade for a transcendent player, you make that move.
Many people out there believe you speak for LeBron James.
I don't speak for LeBron. LeBron is capable of speaking for himself, but I just have my opinions on what I think.
Connections.
I might have a few.
Yeah. Okay.
I might know a man that got his hair cut in the chair that LeBron sat in.
You might know a DM that knows a DM.
I don't know anything.
Skip,
will you stop?
Yeah. Okay.
You know what? See,
I'm just saying.
You be dry snitching.
Well,
look, and
you dry snitch on yourself in public.
I get the fact that, this all started about with a IG post, Skip, in which LeBron liked. Hell, I liked it too.
You did?
Yeah, because I wouldn't have come to the Lakers also.
Okay.
But Skip, it's hard. It's really hard for an athlete to admit when he was wrong. Him linking back up with LeBron would kind of somewhat admit to the fact that I was wrong to leave you in Cleveland. So I don't think that's possible. I say I give it a 35% chance. I give maybe Kawhi 45, 50% chance of coming to the Lakers. But no, I'm not going to put a whole lot. But the unstableness that's going on in the front office when the Clippers also in L.A. have stability from top to bottom and there is no chaos. Steve Ballmer does what he does. You got Lawrence Frank and you got Jerry West doing what they do. You got a very good coach in Doc Rivers doing what he does. So the stability from top to the bottom is as good as you can get. And then you have Jeannie Buss, Kurt and Linda Rambus, and Rob Pelinka. Rob Pelinka just happens to be the most hated
Yeah.
I don't say that lightly, but I think he might be the most disliked man
Sure.
in all of pro basketball.
I agree with that. So, I also tweeted late Saturday night, at least on the East Coast, that I feel sorry for the Toronto fans because he's going to quote unquote quit on them no matter what.
He didn't quit.
Okay, well, just no matter the outcome of this finals, even if they win it, I still believe he's going to use your word, dip. He is going to dip. It's going to be deuces Toronto with no fanfare, no love lost. He's just out because he is known not to like cold weather. He's a Southern California kid, and I think he was like, what? I got to go to Toronto. And to his credit, he finally sucked it up after missing 22 games this year, and he played. Even though he limped, he still, to your point, played, right?
Yeah.
And he played very well through this series and the Philly series. But whoever that relative was or that close friend was in the background, they know darn well. Well, they don't know darn well right now. That might be their deepest fear right now that he's going to dip on them, but I'm pretty sure he's going to dip. I think he viewed it as 1 year in purgatory, and I got to make the best of it because, remember, he had to play some or he's going to miss the big fish contract next year, right? The whale. I mean, it's out there for him, but he could. I mean, if people start to wonder, are you still hurt? Do you even care about basketball? So he had to play at some high level once the playoffs came, or he couldn't call his shot on the free agent market.
And he wants that Supermax deal.
He wants the super, and now he's going to obviously get it, and he can call his shot.
Sure.
I just said that Uncle Dennis Robertson, I'm sure would prefer that he play somewhere up in the Northeast in America, not in Toronto.
That's cold up there.
It's cold there too.
I got it, but it's New York or Brooklyn, and at least you can sell it because it's just great, but it's cold. It's very cold, but still. Is it as cold as Toronto? No. Not quite, but
Skip, you say I call these the young guys jelly beans. You do know if they do not land a free agent, in order for them to get a superstar, they're going to have to trade.
Right. Okay, fine. I got that. But I will give it, you assessed it, would you say did you give it almost 50% that number two would go to LA?
Yes, 45, 50.
I'm going to give you 45. I'll give you that because he grew up right around here. I know he's born in Compton, then he went out to Riverside, but still, he's got Southern California's blood, and trust me, he's got Lakers in his blood. He can't love, and his uncle can't love what's happening, to your point, at the top, because it is chaos at the top. I don't know that he could love playing alongside LeBron because it is hard, man. It is just hard. We've talked about it. The focal point always goes on the second star because if LeBron, for whatever reason, doesn't come up big enough, then it's like, wait a second, he doesn't have enough help.
Right. But
why didn't you help him enough, number two?
And also, Skip, what's going to be in play here? You know you're going to have to give him some games off.
Okay. Well,
so you know that's built automatically in. You know, some people get a clothing allowance budget, and some people get hair and makeup done. So it's going to be, I'm going to miss 15, 20 games. Are you okay with that?
Might be more than that next year.
Are you going to be okay with that, Skip?
And you might have to load manage LeBron next year, right?
Yes.
So you actually need two co-stars that one can rise and shine. A Jimmy Butler, who's the most obvious, that would come to LA and play with LeBron.
Right.
But it's starting to feel like he might be the only one unless they can pull off the trade for AD.
Right.
But Kyrie, listen, quick thought on Jackie McMullen. I've known her forever, for too long. You know, it's going to date both of us how far back we go, but she is plugged in. She is deeply embedded.
Right.
When she speaks, I listen. And if she says she just can't really believe that Kyrie's ever going to reunite with LeBron, I'm saying I'm taking that to my bank.
I sure would like to hear what she said about him going back to Boston.
Well,
what she said about that?
I don't know. I didn't see her quote about that.
That's what I want to see.
Okay, well, it doesn't seem very realistic right now.
Why?
Well, I don't know. But it seems like the nuclear warhead here is number 35, Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
And he's going to dictate where the dominoes fall, right?
Yes.
So if he says, Kyrie, come with me to the Knicks, I think Kyrie's...
I'm sure he's in Kyrie's left ear talking about, come join me with the Knicks.
Yep.
LeBron's in his right ear saying, hey, bro, the Lakers, LA is where it's going to be happening.
Okay, I got it. And listen, number two's got to sit back and say, I know the Clippers have been that stepchild all the years when I was growing up, but right now they look far more stable. with a better coach and a better direction, a better nucleus.
And they definitely Lou Williams off the bench.
I know. I
know Van Fleet is good. He's been great the last 3 games.
Not this guy.
But Lou will coming in. No. So it's gonna be very interesting.
Yep.
Skip. Like you said, Kawhi will have his pick where he wants to go. But you just understand what you're getting. You're getting a guy that's very mercurial.
Yep.
He's not gonna cause any problems, but you're just knowing that you're probably gonna have to load management him somewhere between 15 and 25 ball games. So as long as you're okay with that, he's gonna be fine.
Okay.
And he's shown, Skip. Think about what he did now. He took a team that got swept the last 2 years in the finals. They lost 4-2 3 years ago, and he got them to the finals. So Kawhi's like, hold on. I'm in that LeBron. I'm in that whomever you think is the best. That's your boy.
He's in that.
Yes.
Boy, is he the most popular guy in Canada right now.
Yep.
He's got a pretty good gig
I
right
tried to
now,
get his jersey, and
if
I
this
couldn't
keeps
find
going.
one. All his jerseys are gone. I tried to get me one, Skip.
You did?
I did. It was gone.
Toronto is alive right now.
Obviously, there's still an outside possibility I can show up with one
Alive.
on Thursday.
Really?
Before we talk about where he may end up, let's talk about his performance. Game 6, does he deserve all of the credit? Chris Broussard answers that question next.
No mercy.
Well, the Raptors are on their way to their first finals in franchise history, led by Kawhi Leonard. He had a game-high 27 points and 17 rebounds on Saturday night, and Toronto went on a 26-3 run in the second half to close out the Bucks. Kawhi was helped by Pascal Siakam and Kyle Lowry, who combined for 35 points in the win. We're joined by FS1 NBA analyst Chris Broussard. So, Chris, what percent of the credit goes to Kawhi for that Game 6 win? What percent?
Come on, be honest. Be objective. Try, just once. Just once. Yeah.
Be objective. Yeah. Look, I don't want to take anything from his teammates. You mentioned Lowry.
Sure.
I mean, you didn't mention Flair Van Fleet, who was great in the fourth quarter. Right. He's been automatic from 3. When Kawhi was out to start the fourth quarter, they had the nice 9-2 run without him and, to take the lead. So this was a team effort. But he is the best player. None of those guys, save Danny Green, who's not even playing much anymore, have been to a finals, have even been close, and he's carrying them. And in the key stretch of the game, in my view, that third quarter, when they're down 15, he goes on leads them on a 10-0 run, has 8 points, assist on the other bucket, but also 5 rebounds. During that stretch, that was critical, including his own miss on a free throw to get it back and get fouled and hit another free throw. So, and then in the fourth quarter, 7 points, a team high. So I'm going to give him, again, I want to respect what the other players did, but I think 65, 70% is due to Kawhi.
Wow, that's objective.
There's a
for
ring.
you.
That's very
I was
objective.
thinking we were going 90.
No,
He's not, but I am.
Big
it's
9-0s
a
across the
team.
table,
I gotta
right?
give these guys.
I got it.
You need your teammates, and Kawhi would be the first to say that. So I'm gonna 65, 70%. He was huge, but other guys stepped up too.
So was Kyle Lowry on that team last year that got swept?
Yeah, but this was game 6.
Whoa.
I mean,
I'm just asking you a question. Skip. Chris, you done got me.
because I didn't go 90 like you. Is that what you going?
You already know I'm going. What about the year before the team that got swept? Was he on that team?
Right.
Okay,
yeah.
what about Siakam? Was he there last year?
Yeah.
Oh. So he get 90. Because Danny
For game 6.
Yes. No. For games. Oh, yeah, I would give him 90. Yeah. 29. Did you see what he did in the second half?
Yeah, he was good.
He had 2 fewer points, one more rebound, and 1 more assist than what Giannis had for the entire game. He did that in the second half.
Maybe that's more about Giannis.
Well, don't do that, Skip. It's not your turn just yet. And Marc Gasol, he had 6 points. And there was the biggest 6 points. Everybody like,
Hey, Marc Gasol took 2 threes, and he drained both
ones.
of them. They were big.
Yep.
They were like, what?
Yep.
He made that shot?
wow, I've never seen a guy play 26 and a half minutes and get 6 points, and we do it to throw in a ticker tape parade for him today. But that's neither here nor there, Skip Bayless. I'm going to give, look, the other guys did what they were supposed to do. Kyle Lowry made some big shots, got a big steal. I don't know what Chris Middleton trying to go behind his back in the crowd for. Kyle Lowry rips him, comes down, and then Claw, that left hand, he exploded on it, didn't he?
He did.
Woo!
The lefty.
So Skip Bayless, he get the lion's share of the credit because you and I both know, had he not been there, the baby dinosaurs, we can't even call them the baby dinosaurs anymore, Chris.
They legit.
Yeah, they don't. So now he's giving
You know
them.
why? Because Siakam just grew up right before your very eyes. He's not a baby anymore, am I right?
About Siakam.
Siakam's tough. He's been a little inconsistent, but he's got big
I know who
time
has
potential.
been inconsistent.
Who?
You know who. Number 2.
Really?
The baddest player in the playoffs right now is Kawhi.
Really? Would you believe Chris Broussard, a little-known fact, that since Game 5 of the Philly series, that's back on May 7th,
Yes.
the worst three-point shooter left in the playoffs is number 2 at 26.5%. That's what he is. Just for the record. Yeah. Just that guy, the claw.
Yeah.
He's been shooting claw shots from 3.
Yeah, whatever.
Bing, bong. Right?
What did Giannis
My
been
turn.
doing?
Okay.
So I'm going to be very objective about this.
No, you're
I'm
not.
going to give him 55% of the credit because he deserves 55% because he's playing on a really underrated good basketball team. This team on defense is really good. It plays really cohesive, and it has such experience. And by the way, Ibaka did make it to one finals, but, you know, so
Yeah, that's right.
So for what it's worth, it wasn't worth a lot.
Right.
But he played in one when they were all babies.
Right.
But he did twice lead this league in block shots. And Gasol was a defensive player of the year. I know he's not now, but who knows? And your guy, number 2, was a 2-time defensive player of the year. And Danny Green has made he's all second team, all defense. And Siakam is going to make all defensive team. Just watch. He'll start to make
he's
them.
tough.
He is really tough.
He could become an all-star.
And all of a sudden, off the bench, they come with mental toughness in Van Vliet. I know he had a cold stretch, but now he's made 14 of his last 17 threes.
Since the birth of his son?
Okay, so he made
That joke can't miss.
He made 4 out of 5 threes. And every time I look up, Norman Powell comes off the bench fearless.
Sure.
And just says, here, I'll do this. And he's going to give you points and rebounds and defensive grit right off the bench. So I love the way the team played because they just look like a better basketball team to me. And listen, Nick Nurse is pushing. I don't know, first-year head coach. The guy who got fired last year, I won't even bring up his name, but it was very controversial. And maybe that was a good move. I don't know. I didn't like it when it happened.
I'll say this. I think if they keep Dwayne Casey and get Kawhi, they're right here. No, nothing against Nick Nurse because he's done a great job.
I love Dwayne Casey.
But,
and
yeah,
I
Casey's a good coach.
I will agree with that. But I can't knock one thing
Right.
Nick Nurse
No,
did.
I can't
He kept their
criticize
energy
it.
up, their spirit. He
But
was
Chris
pushing buttons, man.
made a very important point. When they're down 15 and this game seems to be slipping away from
He
them.
had another sensational surge. He did, but it was sort of mid to sort of late third quarter. Then what happened? He goes and sits, and as you pointed out, 9-2 happened.
Yep.
And Van Vliet got loose for a layup. And all of a sudden, I'm looking up, and Norman Powell hits a 3. And then all of a sudden, I'm looking at Ibaka with a putback, and then Siakam with a 5-foot, swoop to the hoop shot. And all of a sudden, they go 9-2, and I'm saying, man, that's really good. So what happened? If we're going 55% of the credit here, you realize number 2 made one lucky 3, and it was lucky, or he would have been 0 for 8.
But you know what? With some guys, you call that touch. When you start getting those types of bounces, that's his second one, as you noted on Twitter.
Yeah.
That's his second one. Hey, there's a softness.
And he had another one that came out.
Softness to that jab.
He should have been 0 for 8 from 3 with 6 turnovers.
No,
that's 55%.
You can't say he should have been.
Okay, well,
he was
I think
one.
he should have
hit
been.
it.
But here's the
bottom
thing. Let me tell
line.
You know why I gave him 90%, Skip? Because he did a number on Giannis. He had him in solitary confinement, Skip.
With a whole lot of
35
backline help, because every time he tried to swoop to the hoop, he ran into the brick wall of Gasol and Ibaka and Siakam. It's hard to get in there.
So nobody else did that. So nobody else employed that strategy.
I guess not. This team
Because I could have swore Boston tried to do that, didn't it?
They tried.
With Big Al Horford
tried. It looked
and
good in
Jason
game
Tatum
one.
and Jaylen Brown and Smart. I could have swore they did that.
So now let's look at number 2's 3 biggest contributions of the fourth quarter. Let's look at that dunk, 6:46 left. Let's see what happens on this dunk. Let's look at what Kyle Lowry does on this breakaway. And if we could, please, here we go. There you go. There's the strip, and he's wide open, and he dumps it back, and woo! Giannis is backpedaling, if not just flat-footed. That, on a scale of 10 in degree of difficulty, is a 1 dunk.
Oh,
full
come on.
speed. He's full speed. The other guy's backpedaling on his back.
One?
Are you kidding me? What's so hard about that?
I'm not trying to say it was,
Shannon Sharpe could have dunked that. Shannon Sharpe would have pulled that off. You tell me you could jump. I don't know.
Yeah, Shannon ain't dunking nothing but donuts.
You know what? I mean, you're right, Skip. It wasn't the most difficult dunk in the world, but it was a momentum dunk.
Then could we see the lucky three just for posterity?
Stop saying that.
Just for posterity, I got to see the lucky three. Okay? Yeah, you do.
Look at Dre. I don't want to see that.
Way to go.
Dre gonna be fun in the finals.
Good kick by Lowry. Wide open, front rim, backboard.
Touch.
Front rim, backboard. Front rim,
That's
backboard.
touch.
Did he call a shot? Did he call a shot? I think I'm going to front rim it and bounce it off the backboard.
That's what we call
Does it count any less?
It's a lucky
Did they give him
shot.
2.5
It's a lucky
points for
shot.
that?
Now we get to the turning point shot of the whole game. This is the turning point moment. 2:06 is remaining, and down the lane drives number 2. And what happens if we could see this? Here he goes. Oh, he thinks he's got a dunk. Oh, no, he doesn't. He ate it. He ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner all in one shot because Giannis swooped over. That's a body bag.
Didn't he block Giannis too, though?
Yeah, got it.
Wait a second. We're talking about what happened on this turning point.
It happens.
2:06. Where did the basketball go after the block? Help me out. Where did the basketball go? He got a putback off the glass. He just laid it off the glass. That was the number 1 lucky play of the night. That's when I just said,
That's
luck.
luck?
How lucky is
That's
this?
a teammate hustling.
Okay, he's just standing there. How much is he hustling? He just stood there and the ball came right to him.
If we start
Is
saying
it not
every
luck?
play like
that's
that, every
the
team
play. Wait a second.
luck. I mean,
that is
come on.
the play of the night. It puts them up 5, and they're never threatened after that. How is that not a lucky play? What usually happens when you get swatted like that, when you get annihilated like that, the ball goes out of bounds.
No, because LeBron, remember LeBron put that thing and JR got it. You remember that?
Right.
But Skip, first
Depends
of all,
on where you block the
Giannis
shot
is
at.
on the backside. He's playing in between Marc Gasol. So just in case somebody he can come do what he did. Kawhi never saw him. Kawhi was trying to posterize Lopez.
Next, I'll hear that he called his shot, that was the play called in the huddle, that he said, I'm going to let Giannis block my shot so it'll bounce to Siakam for a wide open.
He didn't know Giannis was going to be there. Giannis was supposed to be guarding Marc Gasol.
That is pure 100% luck.
No, Skip.
And it's meant to be. That's where you just step back and say, okay, good. It's over. It's yours. Way to go. Congratulations. I congratulated Toronto on Twitter.
No,
they
you didn't.
deserved it.
Preparation meeting opportunity.
Right.
That's what luck is.
Really?
If you're prepared for a moment, when the opportunity, now see, Siakam was where he was supposed to be. The opportunity presents itself because he could have easily fumbled the ball out of bounds.
Everybody catches breaks.
Okay, so in the fourth quarter, he made 2 baskets, number 2. An easy dunk on the fast break and a lucky 3. That's it.
No, you
It's
left
a
something out.
3. It doesn't. I'm looking at the box score. It doesn't say a lucky 3.
Well,
I
my
looked
box
at the
score,
scoreboard. It
says
didn't
it.
say
No, it says it
1
right here.
point,
It's
2 points.
circled.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sure yours does.
Yeah, you actually wrote lucky.
Handwritten.
You actually wrote lucky.
In my box score.
You actually wrote lucky.
No, Skip.
What about the free
come
throws?
on.
Come
Like,
on,
you
I'm just
can't.
telling you what happened. Did he
No.
intend that to hit the front iron? No, he didn't.
If we go throughout history, everybody that caught a break, when Larry Bird stole the pass from Isaiah Thomas in Game 5 of the conference finals that year, it was a bad pass by Isaiah, but it was a great play by Bird. We don't say it's luck.
Magic did the same thing.
Right.
Gerald Henderson picked Magic.
It happens.
Do you remember
I mean,
Ray Allen
breaks
shot
come.
that shot me right in the heart in my Spurs
That was a
game
lucky
6?
play, right?
We do
that
remember
was
that one.
pure 100% skill.
Yeah, but you
That-
know what
that
was
as
luck? The
clean
fact
as you
that the
could-
Spurs missed those free throws.
Okay, well, that's not luck. That was just bad shooting.
Well, but lucky
number
for the
two.
Heat.
Whoa,
Lucky for the Heat.
But see, you heard you saying Kawhi missed a free throw. He won't ever mention Ginobili missed one.
He
too.
missed
Right.
the first one,
Right.
but
Okay,
the crucial one.
And Duncan-
was the second one.
Duncan's not in the game for Bosh to get the I mean,
I
it
said
just.
it. Okay.
You did go off on
Oh,
Pop.
Okay, what
There's
about Danny
breaks
Green?
everywhere.
Snowbird? What about Danny Green Snowbird?
He did. He took off for some unknown reason. Didn't box out LeBron. LeBron got a rebound and made a 3. That was with a couple of minutes left.
Big 3.
No more going in the
Big
past.
three.
We're talking about the now, the future.
Well, he did.
No, he did.
Game 1 of the finals, guys, Thursday in Toronto.
Yep,
So
here we
now
go.
that it's set,
Yep.
the Warriors actually need KD back to
Yep.
win the finals. We'll
good
discuss
question.
that update next.
No mercy.
Kevin Durant has already missed 5 straight games with a strained calf, and it's unlikely he'll play in Game 1 of the finals on Thursday. But the Warriors, well, they haven't missed a beat, winning all 5 games, and Steph Curry has averaged nearly 36 points in that span. This success has led some to wonder if the Warriors are actually better without KD, so he did address that. Take a listen.
as a player, I think about that and I'm just like, it's just not true. You know, that's not facts when it comes to from a basketball perspective. And but the competitive side of me, I also like to talk basketball as well. So if you're going to say something like that, I'm going to engage in it. So it's all fun, it's all cool, but I know the real.
All right, Chris, you're back with us. I'm glad we finally heard from KD. That's a step in the right direction. But Chris, do you like the Warriors' chances in the finals more or less if they get KD back?
I like the Warriors no matter what. I'm with Shannon. I got them in 6.
Okay.
And as great as they are without KD, to sit here and say they're better without him, their chances are better without him, I just can't. I don't think you can objectively say that.
You can't?
Because KD is the ultimate safety valve. That's what he is. And there comes a point in every series, if not every game, where at some point you just need a guy that can break down the defense. No matter what they're doing, no matter what's going on, he can go get you a good look, if not a bucket. And that's KD. Steph can do it, but Steph is smaller. He's not as, physically he's more frail. He can get broken down and people can wear him down over the course of a series. You can't do that with KD.
Right.
And here's the thing, too. It's not like they play completely different without Kevin Durant. He has, to a large degree, fit into what they do.
Right.
Just, I think, over time, as the players have just seen how great he is, they've naturally deferred a little more and a little more and a little more, and then you see more KD ISO. But having him on that team, as confident as I am of them winning without him, if he were playing, I wouldn't have any doubt that they're going to win the series. You also have to have Kawhi guarding.
Right.
Which will as Kawhi guarded Giannis, did a great job, but guarding KD is a lot different.
Right.
It's a lot harder to guard KD.
You can't lead KD over this.
No.
Make that 18-foot.
No. And that could wear Kawhi down for the other end. They don't have another star that can pick up the slack. So, yeah, if they had KD, and I don't think KD is coming back at all. I don't think he's going to be.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think he's playing at all.
So after all you said, now you don't think he's
I don't think he'll be back.
So without Kevin Durant, you say Warriors in 6.
Yep.
Okay?
I said the same thing.
Yeah.
I would like to, like I said, I like him without him. Yeah, but I would say if they had KD, I say they'd probably win in 5. They're just a different team. KD is the one guy that just says, okay, bro, we need a basket.
Right.
What you gonna do? You gonna put Steph on the block? You gonna put Draymond on the block? You gonna dump it down to Kevon Looney on the block? Nah, you can get KD, go one on K, go get us a bucket. And he can do that. But when he's not there, Skip, they don't have anybody to do that, so the ball has to constantly move. And Steph can get his own shots, but Steph gets a lot of shots off picks. I ain't gotta run no pick for KD. I ain't gotta do nothing for KD. I can get KD the ball, say, KD, do your thing, bro. Right. And he can go get it. You wanna pull up 3? You wanna get to the rim? You want to turn around? Hey, you can dump it down to him, turn left or right, and give you a bucket. So they're just different. They're not better. They're a different team when KD is not out there. That's okay, KD. It's not a knock on you, bro. The teams have to play. Normally, no matter what the sport, especially football or basketball, Skip, when if the Patriots are without Tom Brady, they're not going to let the backup quarterback throw the ball 50 times. They're going to be more of a running team. They're not better without Tom Brady. They're just different. The Golden State Warriors are not a better team without KD. They're just different. They're equally as dangerous, though. And I think Portland found.
Well, are they equal? Chris says they're not equal.
No.
Well, here's what I say.
You can't have it both ways.
Yes,
you can't
you can.
say they're better with KD, but they're equal.
Let me ask you a question.
Everybody's asking that question. Are they better? KD was asking, are they better without him? Honestly, I don't think we'll know. Like, if they sweep the Raptors 4-0,
Right.
could you say, oh, there it is, they're better without KD? No, they beat Cleveland with LeBron James and Kyrie Irving one year, 8 out of the last 9 games with KD. So even then, I think the only way we could have enough evidence to say, you know what, they're better without Kevin Durant is if they win it this year without him, he leaves, and they have a great regular season, not 73 wins, but 65, and roll through everybody and win the finals again without him. Then I think you could say, okay, you know what, they're better without him. But I just don't. But here's the crux of the matter. If they win the title without him, it's not that they're better. You just don't need him. There's never been a player in the
He made him
NBA
unbeatable.
of Kevin Durant's ability. The guys in his ilk, Bird, Magic, Jordan, LeBron, Duncan, Hakeem, whoever, they all were needed by their teams. None of those teams could have won championships for long stretches without those guys. And that's what people are challenging KD to do, is say, look, you're of that ilk, go somewhere where you're needed and win the championship.
Yeah, when I said they're equal, they can win the championship without him. They can win the championship with him. That's what I'm with him. That's what I'm saying. They're equally dangerous because here's
something's got to give.
No, it doesn't.
Yep.
So let me ask you a question. If they win the championship without him, what? They're dangerous. If they win the championship with him, they're dangerous. That's all I'm saying.
All I'm saying is Kevin Durant is still easily the best player on this planet. You can't talk me out of that. Easily.
No.
How easily?
He is playing at a level very few have attained. He is, even in those first 2 games against Toronto, he scores 51 in the first one and 30 in the second one, and that's 81 total points. They lost both games. What were they all year long? They were a troubled basketball team. They lost 6 games at home by 20-plus points and 2 games by 30-plus, and one of the 20-plus was to Toronto with no number 2. That's just wrong. It's because Kevin and Draymond got into it, and Draymond effectively burned the bridge, and that whole team thought he's out the door, and they didn't like it. And they're deferring to him even though he's going to the Knicks or wherever he's going to go, and they don't like it. So clearly, with him on the court against Houston, Houston had stormed back in that game on a 22-9 run in the third quarter. They looked in trouble to me. And all of a sudden, he pulls up lame after he made a shot that put it back up to a 3-point game. And then here came Steph. And then here came Clay. And then here came Draymond. They have played better without Kevin. They just have. They're not better on paper.
No.
He's that good.
Right.
But all of a sudden, you're in a precarious situation if you're the head coach of this team right now. If you're Steve Kerr going into this, everything he said the other day on Friday when he finally spoke, KD, it sounded like he wants to play. Now, again, I don't know that he's even done any basketball, anything.
I don't believe it.
I don't, right. No activities that I'm aware of.
I'm not aware of.
But it sounds like he wants to show you how good they can be with him. So you tell me, is this not a scary situation to try to force him back into that starting lineup in game, whatever, let's say 3, let's say 4?
If they're up 2-0,
do
you, even if he were able to play, you think they'd bring him back?
I don't know. If you want to keep him next year, if you want to have any semblance of a chance, you better cater to whatever he wants to do.
And that's a legitimate question. Look, obviously he wants to play. You're right. But if they're up 2-0,
you just tell
what
him
does he have to get?
No thanks?
Well, if he wants to play, I think you gotta let him play.
The thing.
But would it benefit him to come back if you're up 2-0 and you come? Because all you can do is if God forbid you lose and you come back, then it really looks like they're better without you.
Plus, but the margin of victory is smaller. KD he's a cheat. You cheating. He made him unbeatable. But let me ask you this. They win the title. How do you look at Kevin Durant the same? A team that won the last 8-9 games without the best. How do you view him the same?
Okay, which is why he wants to play. He wants to nix that.
But I don't think he can.
I don't think
he can unless they're down.
Okay.
If they're up 2-0, he comes back, scores 40 in 2 games, and they sweep.
Okay.
Nobody's going to say, oh, look how great KD was. They're going to say they were rolling without him. If they're down, they lose game 1. That's all it takes. And then KD comes back and they win the series,
now,
then it's a different thing.
I believe they're going to lose game 1. And I'm with the public on this because they opened at home as a 1.5 underdog to Toronto. Remember, it's their place. They got home court here. And all of a sudden, the public has bet them all the way from 1.5 dog all the way over to 1-point favorite. I believe they.
That's Drake betting all that money.
He might have. He might have. You could be right because all it usually takes is one really big bet. But in this case, I'm with Drake or whoever bet because I think this is an underrated basketball team, and obviously number 2 is supremely gifted on both ends. Although I do have a quick point of order. I watched that game on November 29th at Toronto, and KD goes off for 51. And I didn't actually keep score of how many times number 2 guarded him, but number 2 was guarding him a whole lot, and he scored 51.
But he gets it going like that. Nobody.
Okay, I got it. Well, you made the point already, but just for the record, when he's like that, it doesn't matter who's guarding him. Am I right?
But
you're right.
But we're going to have to find out something about Golden State because this is the first time in their 5 finals that they start on the road.
It's interesting.
They normally at home.
And you got the rust factor where they haven't played now.
They've always, in every game, they've always been favored.
Yeah.
Especially the start. So this would be the first game if it stays the court how it is right now.
Boy, I think Toronto's got the perfect amount of time to regroup and gather themselves, and they're going to be rolling.
And this
Here's the thing, just as much, though, as KD may want to come back and prove some things, those guys want to prove. While they want him back, if he doesn't come back, they want to prove they can win it without him.
Okay.
So they're going to be plugged
So they're up against a lot better team than the Portland
Oh,
Trailblazers.
absolutely.
Right, no question.
And this is going to help Kawhi because he plays Thursday and he doesn't play again until Sunday. And he doesn't play again until Wednesday.
They stretching it out.
Kawhi, he's going to be healthy, Skip. So he might give you about 2 or 3 virtuosos in there.
I think this is going to be a long, hard climb for Golden State, and then if KD is forced back in, it's going to be a disadvantage for them because it's going to take them a game just to figure it back out again.
No, that's a different
So I think it's going to go 7. I'm still going with Golden State in 7 because I still don't trust number 2 against Steph and Clay in the fourth quarter. I just don't.
I trust him.
There's a lot to look forward to in this finals. A lot of storylines. I like it.
Yes. It's going to be really
come back,
good.
Save the day.
I hope so.
Much
Don't be tweeting no negativity about Kawhi. It's the finals. Only positivity.
Only truth?
No, only positive things coming from that Twitter account.
Okay, well,
You might have a burner account. You might have a burner account too.
Yeah, I have no burner.
No one has time.
You might have a little KD.
My own account burns. Is what I have.
You and KD a lot alike. Y'all got the burner account.
We're both thin-skinned.
Chris, I want you to stick around, and I want to know if you're ready to jump off the Giannis.
Here we go.
Wagon.
Yeah, MVP.
All of that next.
No mercy.
Well, the Bucks were eliminated by the Raptors after losing 4 straight, and a lot of fingers are being pointed at the Greek Freak. Giannis scored 21 points in the Game 6 loss, but his offensive numbers dropped from the previous series. He scored about 6 fewer points and shot about 9% worse in the conference finals than he did in semis. After the game, Giannis was asked about the Bucks' future, and it didn't go very well. Take a listen.
You guys have talked a lot about how at this point, sometimes it takes experience. I'm wondering if now that you have some of that experience, if you see more validity to that point, or what you think about that now that you've gone through it.
Just about experience.
And there you have it. Ready to go. Hopefully none of you guys
Chris,
leave me ever
what's
at
that?
this Chris, okay, I know you're still with us, and you picked Giannis to be your MVP this season.
And I have no regrets.
Always. Yeah. Okay, no regrets. But are you disappointed in his performance?
Yeah, I mean, he struggled. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You mentioned the numbers, 20 points, last 3 games, 9 rebounds a game. The key factors you should look at in those last 4 games, 43% from the field for a guy that shot 58 in the regular season, and 47% from the line.
Yep.
That's the critical number. Because not only did he shoot 73% this year, he is a 74% career free throw shooters. So that shows you it was mental. It was the nerves. And that impacted the rest of his game because it looked like he got to a point where he didn't want to get fouled, didn't want to go to that line, and that shuts down your aggressiveness and everything. He got exposed to a degree. This reminds me of LeBron James' first finals appearance against the Spurs in 2007, when LeBron had been great up to that point, took out Detroit, the second bad boys and all that, and the Spurs kind of zoned him up, packed it in a little bit, made him shoot. They exposed his lack of confidence in his jump shot.
Yes.
And that forced LeBron to go back and improve. I think that's the case with Giannis. We know he's got to add the jumper, but not just a 3-point shot. Work on that, but mid-range shot. If he had just had a mid-range shot where he could pull up at 15 feet, 12 feet, and just put in a jumper, that would have been different.
8 feet or 6 feet?
Yeah.
Just rise up over.
That way,
no, there's no question
because
about
if they respect that part of your game, now when they hug up on you, now you can go around them and do what you do, dunk the basketball in. I'm disappointed. I'm going to give him a 10 because I believe he shrunk under the pressure. Jenny read all the stats. he was down 4 points a game,
Sure.
58%, and then 58 to 43%. And then when guarded by Kawhi, he's all the way down to 35%. So in moments of the ball game, because I could see, but as a superstar player, you can't lose 4 straight. Not after being up 2-0. You got to find a way. You got to look at guys, and they get you to a 15-point lead midway through the third quarter. You got okay, this is where I need to be. I'm going to bring it home from here out. Giannis, and then walk out of the whoa, wait a minute.
What
This is the problem.
there?
This is the problem that I got. Giannis, you ain't got enough pelts on your wall, brother, to do that.
No.
She didn't ask you anything. Now, maybe it was cold for something. She would ask you something else. But, bruh, she just asked you about experience and what do you think you need to do. And you bounce on that one? Bruh, you ain't got enough time up in the belt. Now, if you got 12 years in the league and you're like, okay, well, who do you think you are asking me this? You want to bounce after about 5 minutes? But in your situation, if there's a reporter, ask 100 questions. You answer them all. That's beneath you, Giannis. You're not LeBron. You're not KD. You're not Steph. You don't have that kind of resume to walk out on a press conference.
By the way, Malika Andrews from ESPN had written a story about how the Bucks need to win this series, if not the finals, so long-term they can keep him there, which I thought was a very positive story. I don't know if he was upset with that.
But it just
idea.
came out. I wonder if he could even have seen it.
I don't know.
Didn't it come out right? Because it was based on them losing. Like, it was clearly written to if they lose, we'll run it. So
I don't know.
It looked to me like a young star player who just couldn't take the heat at that moment, and he just said, I'm out.
Yeah.
I can't do it. And Chris Middleton is just like...
he seems to be an emotional guy.
Yep.
And obviously he takes it seriously. I don't know if he felt like he's going to break down at some point,
Maybe.
but I personally, I don't kill him for it. We've seen, look, I remember when LeBron lost to Orlando in the Eastern Conference Finals in 2009. He didn't. Now, I thought this was ridiculous, but everybody criticized it because he didn't shake the other guy's hands.
Right.
Which happens a lot,
It
all
does.
the time with players.
I
But
agree.
people jumped on LeBron after they lost to Dallas when he made the comment about you guys have to go back to your lives.
Yeah.
And, you know, I still got my great.
Right.
So it happens. This is my thing. I look at this, I was telling Shannon during the break, this is a necessary evil. I don't look at this as, oh, Giannis is not what we thought he was. There has not been a player other than Bill Russell who has won a championship in this league, a superstar, carrying his team without adversity. The few who have done it went to teams. Magic went to Kareem. Bird had Tiny Archibald and Robert Parrish and guys who were veterans. When Wade won it in his third year, he had Shaq. So, but if you have your own team, no other stars, LeBron, Dirk, other guys, Olajuwon, Dr. J, you have got to go through adversity.
Yeah.
And this is his first bit of adversity.
Tim Duncan didn't have any scar tissue.
Yeah.
And he had Robinson, though, the Admiral.
I got it. I was extremely disappointed, and I gave you credit all year because you saw Milwaukee coming before we did. And then right on the verge of greatness, as you said, they lost 4 in a row. They didn't even lose more than 2 in a row the whole year. Yeah. And it was mind-blowing to me how he seized up and disappeared. And you're right, it happens to the greatest. We saw LeBron seize up against Dallas in the second go-around. But this looked like exposed. This looked even more than LeBron did against the Spurs when he got swept. I know Pop, it went all the way into the first Miami series in 2013 where Pop,
Right, yes, it did.
he's just waving on defense like, get away from him, just let him shoot, let him shoot, let him shoot. So that was the book on LeBron from the start, and LeBron has pretty much closed most of that book.
Yes.
But in this case, maybe the book hasn't yet to be written, but man, I'm not sure he's got this in him. I don't know if he can learn that shot or those shots. I don't know. It looked like he got exposed almost terminally where if you can just pack the lane and force him to stay anywhere but in the lane, that he can't hurt you. He's got to get to the hoop, swoop to the hoop, and nobody can swoop better than this kid can because he's so long. But I look at what happened fourth quarter and overtime in this series. He went 11 of 27, which is 41%. What'd you say he made in the regular season?
He was 58.
58% shooter, yeah.
From the free throw line in the fourth quarter and overtime, he was 5 of 18. That's horrendous. That's getting in that Lonzo sort of.
No, what did that tell you, though?
And that's in here.
That's that pressure. That's the moment of the ball game. Like, okay, we need these. He knows what's at stake. He knows this is the Eastern Conference Finals. He knows that moment.
Because the motion is pure. I like it. It looks good to me. It doesn't look like Shaq or, where it looks clunky. He's got a nice follow through.
I believe he'll work. He strikes me as a guy. He was a really skinny kid when he came in.
Yep.
And to see now, in 5 years, he's going to be the MVP. He's going to work. He won't do what the guy in Philadelphia, the tall guy in Philadelphia, not working.
Different
my bottom line, I said this going into the series, I'm not sure he's got that basketball killer in him. I'm not sure that fire in his belly in a playoff game.
That's an interesting point. I'm not going to say he doesn't, but we haven't seen a European player, as great as a lot of them have been, Powell, Dirk, because Dirk had a lot of help from Jason Terry in 2006. They fell apart. They could have won that series against Miami. Like, we haven't – what European player has had that real killer in them like that? That's kind of they grow up playing that team ball. Like you see in the fourth quarter, he's not the go-to guy. Yeah. It's the team. Jokic, we want him to shoot more. He's got to shoot.
No,
like
fair.
they grow up. It's a team.
Ginobili has it, but I don't know if he qualifies as he's South American.
You're right, Argentina, and he never had to carry. As great as he is, he's a Hall of Famer. Yeah. But he didn't have to carry.
That was dunking.
You know what I mean? Like,
because you could always
dunk.
Hey, Tim, get on the block and give us a bucket.
But Manu's got killer. He was.
But yeah, that remains to be seen. But I think he's shown as much as he's improved. He averaged 7 points as a rookie.
Yeah.
Like he's built it up. You see his 3-point shot has improved. I'm not even concerned about he's got to get a better three.
Right.
He'll do that.
Yeah.
But it's that mid-range.
I know. And
That's
now,
what he's got to
I must tell you, I'm going to cringe that night if I have to watch him walk on stage and get the regular season MVP because I'm going to be too prisoner of what I just saw.
He's going to walk up there.
Remember when Dirk, was it 07 when they got beat in the first round?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
07, 08, something like that.
Yeah, 07, one of those.
Well,
Golden
Chris,
State got him.
good to have you. Thank you for joining us. We actually have to talk about a different MVP.
Yes, we do.
But this one, the MVP of the playoffs.
Oh,
Here we go.
And number 2,
Here
we'll
we go.
discuss.
Kawhi.
No mercy.
Kawhi has been awesome lately, averaging about 31 points and 9 rebounds a game for the Warriors. Steph Curry is averaging about 27 points in the playoffs, but he's been on fire in the 5 games since Kevin Durant got hurt, averaging nearly 36 a game. So, Shannon, who is the playoff MVP so far?
Kawhi is not even close.
Not even close.
Not even close because the playoffs are more than 5 games in a quarter. The playoffs are more than 6 games because if you go back and look at it, Skip, the 4 games against the Blazers, 1 game.
Who are you talking about?
Let me finish.
Well, you haven't even mentioned who you're talking about.
Steph Curry.
Oh, him.
The
that guy.
Blazers.
We all forgot about him.
No, we didn't forget about him. The 4 games against the Blazers, the 1 game, and then the half, basically the fourth quarter against in Game 6. What the Game 6? Game 5. Game 5 that KD got hurt. That's when, but 23 points a game against the Clippers, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was with the big dog.
Well, I'm just, hold on. So I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly. So if Kevin Durant's on your roster and it's not the regular season, they don't consider those the playoffs, yay or nay? Oh, they do, okay.
With KD, they are, to quote my friend across the table, they're invincible. Go ahead.
Well, it's the playoffs.
Go ahead.
Yep.
Go ahead.
KD has been hurt. So he's disqualified.
Oh, okay.
So that leads me to Steph and Kawhi. Now, Kawhi's averaging 31 points a game.
Yep.
Steph Curry's averaging 27.
But you're including
What?
with the big dog.
Whoa.
Yep. Okay, yeah.
Kawhi's averaging 51% field goal percentage, Steph 45. But here's where this is where this man right here, he just take off running. You got to get
or limping.
No.
Whichever way it is.
Okay, he just take out with a brisk walk.
Yeah.
Sure.
And Steph can't start yet
Yeah.
until he gets 20 miles ahead. Is that he takes the best player on the opposing team. Steph Curry wasn't guarding Dame Lillard. He wasn't guarding Lou Williams. He wasn't guarding James Harden. Ben Simmons got him locked up. Jimmy Butler Won't let him out. We just got done talking about Giannis.
Did he guard them both at once?
You
I don't know how that happened.
See, you always try to.
He just takes two of them at once and says, I got both of them.
He could do that if he needed to.
He could?
He got to do it if he wanted to.
hard
And
to
then
do.
pull Giannis.
Interesting.
Oh, pull Giannis. Skip. Giannis thought he could get out for good behavior.
Yeah.
Kawhi kept him in solitary.
Really?
Yeah, 23-hour lockdown like in Pelican Bay.
Really?
Yep.
What about that Great Wall of Toronto?
Don't do that, Skip. Because everybody else had a great wall.
Yeah.
And guess what?
It wasn't very good.
When you want to get over it, they built the Great Wall in China. How did they keep the mongrels out? They climbed the wall, right?
Yeah, they did.
And in Berlin, they had a wall. What did they do? They tore it down, right?
Yeah, but it worked.
It
worked.
Temporarily.
It always works.
So if you're that guy, you find a way to scale that wall. But when two says no way, no can do, and then he giving you 30 points and he locking up guys, he got to be the best.
Okay. So, my friend Shannon Sharpe across the table just said that number 2 is the MVP of the playoffs, and it's quote unquote not even close.
Yeah.
Did say that.
Correct?
That's what I said.
And I'm looking at number 2's three-point shooting since Game 5 against Philadelphia. He's made 13 of 49 threes. That's 26.5%. Is that good?
No.
No, that's not very good.
But that's all in the
And
scope
by
of
the
the-
way, that includes a Game 5 against Milwaukee in which he made 5 of 8. That's included in the 26%. So you take that out, and he's 19%. I don't know. I don't know, but he's the runaway MVP.
Runaway.
Yet we're looking at degree of difficulty, and he did draw a Joel Embiid who was either sick or hurt or both at once. I don't know what happened.
I don't really
he just
see how that's his
wasn't,
fault.
it wasn't his fault. But he benefited greatly from that, and then he benefited greatly from a Giannis that we just talked about, who just got exposed. He's got no mid-range. He's got no.
Well, who pulled his clothes off?
Well,
Kawhi did. Who made him strip down there?
They're called free throws because nobody can guard you. You freely stand at the line 15 feet from the basket. And with nobody around, nobody can even put a hand in your face, you get to shoot them. And I don't want to bring up the stats again, but Giannis was horrendous in the fourth quarter and overtime.
And he was even more horrendous when Kawhi was on him.
Okay. Now, let's go to that cute little guy for Golden State. He's the baby-faced assassin, but most people think he's just baby-faced. He's a little willowy. Doesn't really look the part. All I know is when the big dog went down, when Kevin Durant went down and out, pulled up lame, Game 5, late third quarter, all of a sudden Steph said, I can finally do this again. I'm going to show you two-time MVP.
That what he say, huh?
And in the fourth quarter of that game, he scored 12. That's pretty good. But in the fourth quarter of Game 6, the closeout game at Houston, facing, they're down, 5 going to the fourth quarter. So they're facing Game 7 back at Oracle, where they have not been very good this year. And guess what the little babyface does?
He got 23.
23 points he scores in the fourth quarter. Is that not sensational?
That
Is that
was
not like
unbelievable.
off the charts?
Unbelievable.
Against the
That was
Rockets
really
in
good.
their building. In their building,
Yep.
he goes for
He did that.
23.
He did that.
The degree of difficulty is off the charts on that one. So then he comes back, and they still don't have the big dog against Portland. And Portland...
And who, like you tell me, like you tell Shannon, who you have little to no respect for, Skip Bayless. I want you to go ahead. You have little to no respect for Portland. Am I correct? Yes or no?
Portland was ahead 17, 18, and 17 in consecutive games, 2, 3, and 4.
Yes.
And the latter two were in Portland, 17, 18, and 17.
Yes.
And all Steph did was average and score the most points anybody ever has in the history of this league in a 4-game sweep. That's all he did, 36.5 points a game.
Yeah.
He made 26 of 31 threes. That's 43%. Your guy is 26.5% since Game 5 in Philadelphia versus 43.
Well,
I don't know. And the degree of difficulty here is high because you don't have the guy who makes you invincible, right?
If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah. Wow, interesting.
Siakam, Gasol, Van Fleet, or Green. Which one of those guys have had a better playoff run than Draymond Green? So we gonna just disregard the triple doubles?
All those guys are really good.
I just want to know
As a group, that team's played deeper than Golden State has played. Yeah.
Well, did Draymond make the All-Star team? I don't think he made it this year.
No, I don't think so.
But have you seen him in the playoffs?
He's been really good.
another one that was
Has
surprising.
anybody ever seen Draymond Green play the last, say, 10 games better than he played at any point in time? Has there ever been a stretch that Draymond's played better
Who's
than this?
played better, Steph or Draymond? Steph.
Who's played better, Kawhi or Steph? Kawhi.
Steph.
Kawhi.
You know what? more valuable.
Might not agree
That
on this one. May
wasn't
not
the
agree
question.
Higher
about this
degree
one.
of difficulty.
Don't do that, Skip.
We have talked a lot about Kawhi today, but we haven't talked enough about his injury. How was he able to overcome it?
That's a great
How did he do
question.
it? We'll
I
discuss.
don't know.
No mercy.
FS1 is your destination for the day's best sports shows. We'll be breaking down Kawhi, Durant, and every storyline in the NBA Finals. Catch it Monday through Friday right here on FS1. And speaking of Kawhi, well, he's been hearing plenty of praise since leading the Raptors to their first Finals appearance ever, and he averaged nearly 30 points per game in the series against the Bucks. Here's what Michael Lee of The Athletic wrote about Kawhi. Beast is the word tossed around by Raptors teammates and coaches to describe Leonard, a ruthless competitor who never made a spectacle of the injury that hampered him throughout the improbable four-game steamroll of the Bucks. Though he was definitely laboring, limping, and picking his spots, Leonard was still able to outplay the likely league's most valuable player, Giannis Antetokounmpo, on one good leg. Just one.
One.
Shannon?
One.
One leg.
I've never seen anything like this.
Yes.
Do you agree with that?
100, I agree.
100,
I agree.
dude.
100.
On one leg.
The one leg. I ain't say for the whole season, but for the last 4 games, he outplayed Giannis on one leg.
One leg.
He's having to pick his spot, which I told you before I even read this. Jenny read it. I didn't even read the article.
Really?
I already, no.
You could have written the article.
Yeah, I already knew.
Maybe he contributed.
Since the double overtime game, Skip, the last 3 games, Kawhi's attempted 22 shots in the first half, 38 in the second half. You see what he's doing? He pacing it. He pacing himself. Now, as you do, Skip, you don't know anything. See, you just get out there and start running. Run hard as you can, know you got a marathon. See, I would pace it and then kick on you at the end and beat you. But that's neither here nor there.
Want to go try right now?
No, I want to try right now.
Please don't.
I got other things I got to get done today on this Memorial Day. And he's not 100%, Skip. We see him a lot of time as a right-handed shooter jumping off the right leg, which lets me know the left leg is something that's still bothering that left leg. But he's picking his spots. He's choosing when to, put Giannis on a poster, when to get the crowd involved by dunking it home. Then, he goes back into chill mode. Let me say, conserve some of my energy. But I totally agree with the article. He's been very, very good on one leg, and he's the main reason, 90% of the reason
90%.
why they're going to be playing on Thursday
I'm going to give
night.
you this. He has learned, thanks to what he learned in San Antonio from Duncan Parker and Ginobili, how to manage the flow of the game. He's very good at picking his spots to turn it on or get teammates involved. I'm going to give you that. He was masterful at how he orchestrated the game. I'm giving you all that. But he sure looked two-legged to me, especially Saturday night. He looked 1,000% just fine to me. And this drives me crazy. And again, I have a lot of respect for Michael Lee. But to say that he outplayed, no.
Outplayed him.
One leg.
One leg.
So now I'm reading for the first time because I kept asking you, what is wrong with him? Remember? Because his coach would give him no quarter on this.
Yeah.
His coach kept saying he's just fine. But his coach would gush about how much pain Kyle Lowry is having to play through with his busted thumb on his left hand. Remember that?
Yep.
So in this case, this is the first indication I read from anybody he has knee tendonitis. So for all those 73 games he missed in San Antonio, he had quad tendonitis or tendinosis, whatever you want to call it. But something was wrong with his thigh, as in it got bruised. But the point is that now I finally heard something tangible. Oh, so now it's in his knee. Well, tendonitis in the knee can be troublesome. It can be aggravating. But
Especially if you're a basketball player.
But it does not stop you. You really can't take a shot for it, like a pain-killing shot. It's hard to do. But again, my favorite moment of this past series was Game 3, when he limped through the whole game on his left leg, and then he dunked at the end of the game, coming down the stretch, and limped up the court on his right leg. He was limping. So did he forget which leg to limp on? I don't know.
He didn't forget.
And then how miraculous was Saturday night that he didn't limp at all? How do you explain that? How could you not? You could limp through games 3 and 4, and then all of a sudden you get to game 6, and it's a miracle. He's recovered. Really?
Blood.
Oh, he smelled blood, so he just sucked it up. So one of two things is going on here. either he has the highest pain threshold of any athlete in the history of sports, right?
I don't know about the highest, but I can see he has a high threshold.
He's up there, but he's always hurt. I don't have time left in this show to list the litany of injuries he had in San Antonio. It was dozens deep. Everything was wrong, from the foot all the way to the shoulder. There were always things wrong with him. So I don't know about that pain threshold. Is he just fragile? Is he, as the Cowboys used to say, is he an Eggman where he just cracks easily?
He might be, but I tell you what, they like it.
They like it?
They wish they'd have had that old Eggman. Because they'd be in the Western Conference, they'd have been in the Western Conference Finals, and who knows, Skip, KD out, Kawhi, and that Spurs group with LaMarcus against the Warriors with no KD. Who knows? It could have been you.
Yep. I just love the mythology that's getting created, because now he's not only the quote-unquote MVP of the playoffs, but he's playing through terrible pain. He's playing on one leg, so he's been the MVP of the playoffs on one leg.
No. That just happened. That just happened recently.
Just happened recently, but again, didn't he look just fine? And yet he continually gets the injury excuse, and then Reggie Miller on TNT, I love Reggie, but he gives him the out of gas excuse midway through the third quarter on Saturday night.
Yeah.
He looks out of gas, and I'm saying, he does not look
he looked
out
tired.
of gas.
He looked tired.
He always looks tired.
Yeah, one time he looked like a one-legged man in a butt-kicking contest.
Really?
That's how tired he looked.
Okay. Well,
and
so that's that wasn't original with you. You realize that.
Did I?
I think you plagiarized that one.
That's me. That's me.
Okay, that's been around for a while.
No, they better not be
but
using
again,
I'm suing.
But he's sweating so much, he's out of gas. Well, he's just sweating. You know, they all sweat.
But Skip, what you're asking him to do is not only go give you 30 on one end, but you got to keep Giannis from getting his 30 on the other end, and in the process of doing that, keep him off the foul line. Well, maybe you want to put him on the foul line the way he was shooting free throws,
I think he probably
but you
did.
don't want him to shoot a high percentage. So you got to do all of that, and you got to play 40-plus minutes while you're doing that.
So how many games off is he going to need during the finals?
No, we
made
good.
the case.
We
It's
good
because you got all this time built
we don't
in.
play till Thursday.
Really?
And guess what? We don't play again till Sunday, and then we don't play again till Wednesday.
You ever heard of anti-inflammatories? You can take them by mouth.
Now we don't really do that. We're more holistic. We can take a more holistic approach.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Holistic
And what?
approach.
What do you do?
We do like meditate. We do yoga. We get the herbal incense going.
Okay.
Is that what you did? Somehow I don't picture
That's what
that.
we do, Skip.
Okay, we give Kevin Durant a hard time a lot about his social media, but he had a very interesting comment about his behavior on social media. So we'll tell you. We'll show you the details next.
No mercy.
Time for our final topic of the day. We're also talking about Kevin Durant. Last week, Katie got into it with our friend Chris Broussard. Katie was asked about why he feels the need to go at people on social media and said, quote, "I have social media. I'm a human being with a social media account. I can see if I ventured off into politics or music and gave my input, but I'm sticking to something I know. I'm qualified to talk about basketball." Shannon, does that justify Katie's behavior?
Katie, I don't think anybody is questioning your ability, your opinion. Yeah, you're entitled to your opinion. But what you get so upset about is when people say that you took the coward's way out. You jumped on a train that was already moving, heading in a positive direction, and you want the lion's share of the credit for being on the train. And when people don't give you that, you say, what do you know? You don't know anything about basketball. So, look, KD's going to be KD. I just wish he wouldn't go at a guy that's in Iowa somewhere getting ready to go to high school and respond to him. If you want to respond to Skip and I or somebody do that.
Have you ever seen anything like this?
No.
He is, to me, the best player on the planet. And he stoops to engage with any and everybody on social media as if their opinion really matters to him and pushes his deepest button. He's got to fire back.
They do.
Clap back, right?
They do.
Well, do that. Why? Why do they?
Because he's responding, Skip, because they're saying, KD, you're so good, why would you go join a team that won 73 games that you had down?
All right. But he backs it up. He won back-to-back finals MVP. Then he fires back at our Chris Broussard. He relishes doing this, even though, trust me, Chris Broussard loves him.
Yes.
I know.
You're biting the hand that can feed you, right?
He loves it.
What are you
I
thinking?
can't read that stuff. That is it for us.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports. One of one.